champions last year, at the end of last year, and now we're talking about them hopefully making it to playoffs. It is a change, but there's been lots of changes, and as you heard on the analyst desk, a change in patch as well. Perhaps we'll see that Waylay fade out, as indeed no Waylay here, but the West Side Phoenix, this was definitely drawing our eye when it came to the game last week, and no surprise he's locked it in here, already locking in the first headshot as well. Something West Side thrives at. GX finding themselves a man to the good as the spike's going down on C.
Yeah, they've really struggled on the defensive side of this map, but their attack was sublime. So this first half is going to be interesting to see if they're able to fix their issues. Valorant, well, he had a bit of a troublesome week last week. It doesn't look like it's getting any better. Cooper under pressure. But he will be able to fall back to his teammate. That ex-duo of Liquid Academy looking to try and hold the line. It's all onto Ninja. He will not be able to do so. A solid first round from the side of GX, and well, already doing okay on their defensive side because they are halfway to what they managed when they played Vitality.
Yeah, it was a bit shaky, and I think that's a conversation to be had there when it comes to Ara. Last year, we talked about him as being inconsistent, up and down, and this year, it does kind of feel like we're seeing the same, but I do think the changes might favor him. His Waylay looked really rough. I found it hard to get any value off of it, and now with it maybe moving out of the pool, moving towards Neon, which historically has been more of a strength from him in some of the bigger games they had last year, I like that. And I do think for him, the important thing is to try to stop that bounce up and down. He's so solid when it comes to his ceiling, but we too often see him play at his floor.
Yeah, for sure. As you saw on the lower third, it is going to be the first time we've seen Pacific play this map at all. And while it's not the cleanest start, already Ara down and Flickless incredibly low. Paranoia will be sent through, and they've not actually managed to put the pressure on to Flickless. The danger, of course, is still Valorant lurking around the edge of that smoke. And the gun that they've picked up, obviously a lot better if somebody pushes there. Unless, of course, you're on Neon, but unfortunately for them, 7 is already dead.
Yeah, taken down for that space trade, and as you said, the judge, great if they go walking into garage, but we would have some serious questions about GX's shot calling if that was to be the case. Instead, they'll have to close the distance the old-fashioned way, and there is a camera watching the walk out. The judge well and truly spotted there. Although with 34 HP, range isn't going to be too much of a problem. If that judge can find a few shots onto Flickless, he's going to wait for backup, play this on backside. But this explosion from Pacific, if they go through that smoke, they have got a chance of making this a favorable fight even. Checking the right way, they'll at least get one. The question of damage answered with 3 players alive for GX.
Yeah, not too bad in the end, especially with how things started out, and for them to get those initial defensive rounds. Although it is worth mentioning that with having that chamber as a more aggressive Sentinel on the defense, you could argue that maybe this composition is a little bit more defensive from Pacific. So maybe both teams are looking for that second half. I am excited to see more of the 7 duelist though. I want to see how he's going to be able to be that little bit more aggressive, while CNED can maybe play a bit like Filu did, like having that operator on attack when they can afford it.
An important win for GX on this map as well, with Pearl up next. Got 13-3 last week. Have to change their comp most likely, with it being Ara on the Waylay. He was 1-8 first kills. Had a really tough game. Nice opening here from 7. Again, him on the duelist, opening up a lot of space. And the B-side plant already coming through. Got to be cautious of the flank, but that's exactly what Ninja's doing, locking that down with a deeper play from Valorant. Losing CNED, not ideal, but of course, 7 is here to pull back every advantage that they'll give them. This is a stellar round already, sticking around for more, and 7 with 4 on the tally. Only Ara left to fall, a judge in hand. And not too many examples of where that judge could be used favorably. 7's low, so maybe that's your prime target, but the ace just 1 kill away. And Ara's almost teasing them with it. Oh, it's so close. The shots don't land yet, but in the end, it seemed inevitable.
God, nice round from 7. It's one of those things where you want to get that confidence brewing, especially on the Neon. But this was all him. I think there was hesitation at the end because you go, well, I don't want to give a rifle away.
Yeah,
like, I don't want to turn this into 2 guns being dropped versus a bonus. But that's superb. Just great at taking those isolated fights. And also the confidence clearly there. One away from his ultimate. But this is where things should get a little bit more difficult. You can see Westside already having that run it back online and in a fairly aggressive position. There you go. Straight down mid he goes. And, well, it's actually Ara to take the initial fight and lose. He's got to run out.
Yeah, aggression on A. Lose a player. Ult used to aggress down Garage. Nothing found either. And now GX, having played their hand early, they're way behind. The recovery, there's no easy answer to this, especially with how Pacific are playing. Look how patient they are. They've got a pick a minute 10 into the round, and they're still spread in a default, still covering their bases for any extra pushes that might have come down or might come down from then on. And it looks like we're going to at least indeed get the drone coming out on mid. A little bit of posturing in that direction while GX group up and walk through on A. How many did Valorant just see? I think it was only 2, but it's enough to send them to C.
It's very open C site. You do have the cam available, which will give a little bit of additional information. If you watched any of the Vitality game, this was how they sort of adapted to GX when playing that attack, was you just slow down. You let them come to you. And I'm hoping that GX have worked on having a little bit more in the tank. This retake setup seems to be the goal, but they are losing those fights again, though. Westside springing to life. He's given a small chance to Cloud. Well, maybe a chance of the 1v1, but he's not looking the right way.
Big danger from Valorant as well. I mean, this guy sneaking his way around. If they were looking to full retake from spawn, if it took them a second or two longer, he would have had a massive hand to play in that round. And although, yes, a phenomenal attempt by Westside again, adding up that headshot tally, he's #1 in EMEA for a reason. But it's not enough this time for GX to keep that lead. Tied up 2-2, and now on an eco, it looks like we're going to pass the baton over to Pacific.
Yeah. I do wonder if this is a map that Pacific are going to be happy to play going forward, or if it was just we watched GX play Haven and we're not worried. Because this isn't a map that they played. They've not been particularly keen to play this. I think they banned it last week, but when you watch the way that GX played the defensive side, it was just keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. So if you have faith in your own default, which I imagine Cooper will do, I think they're going to be fairly comfortable playing this attack. And I want to see if GX do have a more passive look. Now in this round, they do, but this is just trying to gamble the rotations correctly.
We've seen this before, used off of like a KO knife, even the early reveal, and then full stack the other side of the map with an advanced position. But 3 players sitting in spawn off of next to no info. Trips aren't particularly far. The drone went in, but we haven't seen, I don't think we even saw the reveal go up for quite a while. It was like a minute left on the clock. And now they've spread into a default. It's a strange looking round. But in the end, it will be a gamble once again. Cover their bases, make sure that the defensive line hasn't been broken, and now rotate to A, where they already find their opening pick. The problem being that the rest of Pacific are towards this C site, and Flickless has got the bandit. It's not like he's helpless in that fight, but he makes the wise choice to wait for backup.
Try and get back in as a squad, but it's only really Cloud that has anything to play with. The few pistols that can be put in as well. Shock darts might make things a little bit more difficult for Seven in the backline. In fact, nice. It's semi-been checked, but the trades have worked. Even still, though, Seven comes alive again already. Maybe on for his second ace of the game.
No way.
There's only been 4 rounds so far, a 5th in this one. It could be 2 aces in 5 rounds if he can manage to take it home. He's in the right place at the right time, and already! What is going on? We had Cloric, another import, managing to go a 1v5 into a 1v4. Now we've had in 5 rounds 2 aces.
Yeah, I mean, they're just one of the best players that we've got in the scene, honestly. Seven, when they joined here again, I say this almost every time. Yes. Hey, eco kills or not, an ace is an ace, my man. An ace is an ace. Yeah. We said this, that like someone that came with a lot of hype to our region, but we've seen that before, and often that just leads to expectations being built higher than reality can ever meet. Seven has exceeded expectations, even though they were set very high. 10-3 right now, a solid start, and Pacific get the lead with that play. Now for GX to go back onto a full buy to try to fight yet again on even footing. And these rounds have typically been overextensions on their part getting punished. Pacific, as a result, happy to sit back and wait, at least for those first 30 seconds.
This time, though, GX have been a little bit more patient. I'd still like to see the operator come in. I think that will help quite a bit with this. Grabinho, he's not going to survive, but the trades are good.
Spike down, mid.
Leaves them in an advantage. A chance to equalize with Ninja and Valorant, the last two. But the bigger problem is they don't have the spike or any space. And, well, Ninja has found information, but at the cost of, well, almost his life.
Yeah, now becoming an impossible task with the last man dropped. And for Pacific, the way that they approach this round, I think, is just expecting that GX will stop pushing, that they will sit back and wait. And the hope is that the B side is where the weakness sits. But evidently, that's not the case. As soon as Seven loses that fight, maybe that's where they need a call for the pullback. But again, they hope that's the only guy. We can isolate that fight, we can trade, and then the full hand revealed with Westside there as well.
Well, there you go. 0 aces to 2 aces. It's not bad. It's been, so far. It's been good so far. The one thing I will say is I do wonder if GX are passive continuously, how difficult this is going to become for Seven. Because he is sort of the tip of the spear. It's not a double duelist. Yeah. Like, you can't have CNED doing exactly the same thing. The answer, though, is they're not going to be doing it at all. That is a full mid-push already with space taken in towards the window. The rest of the team, though, are patiently waiting, but it leaves some pretty hefty gaps, only really covered by a trip.
Gamble worth taking for the trap that they're looking to spring. 2 flashes waiting in the garage. There's contact, paranoia, and the flash. Good, the curveball sent through, but it gets nothing. An immediate stun sends them back. Good work for Pacific to keep that control, but the rotation will be heard. A very close Ara knows now that they're moving to the A site, but Cloud has to either hold his ground or get out alive, and he at least manages the latter.
Yeah, this is where you look at that retake setup. Having the ultimate gives a little bit more of an opportunity to get back into the site, but it's also where CNED's operator can become that little bit more deadly. Just watching that flank, patiently waiting for anybody to attempt around that corner. It needs to be a pacey swing from Ara if he's going to get past. And, well, he does, but there's a second layer to it. Seven keeping them in an advantageous position. Now Westside goes through with the ult, but he's not able to connect the shots. He needs someone to attempt to trade, and it's a little bit further behind. Even still, they're making this work. Time ticking. Ninja, the only one remaining. He gets back into the smoke, but it fades. And Cloud, with 3, will now give GX back the lead.
Yeah, needed an extra second on that smoke, and he would have been fine, but caught with his pants down there. That's going to be 4 for GX. Very well done. Again, coming into the next round with Hunter's Fury, thanks to that from Cloud. They are set up to fight their way right back into a convincing lead. And, you know, you look at some of these rounds from GX, I did think back to 2 ago where they went for that B control. They went without the initiator. It seemed like a little bit of a blip as they pushed the extremities on C and on A short, then send 3 players to dive in blindly for the B take. That's a symbol of confidence on their side that they thought Seven could just decimate that opening fight. But you really can't put it all on one guy to do that. 4-3. And I think this is where Pacific, well, I would have thought, group up, play more direct, get in towards that site. But it's slow. Again, pressure towards A, getting some util out, the push up from Ara as well, the AWP avoided, and now they'll group for this B hit, this time with their initiator to back them up. And I think that's what was missing. Like a little reveal through that smoke, set Seven up for success. Although the drone's going into garage, this is all a ruse to take late C.
Counter paranoia. 3 players were already here, and it leaves it onto Flickless. He's been good so far. Hunter's Fury through once again. Flickless holding his ground, but it's more on Westside. Joined a little bit later, still fighting on the site, and this Phoenix ever so fierce. It leaves CNED alone. No operator in hand anymore, and of course the defense, they'll be waiting for Ara.
Oh, there's his get out of jail free card now. He's gonna sustain those fights. The stun is perfect, and he nearly gets away with it.
Nice try.
CNED, one hell of a try, but the round falls again into the hands of GX. That would have been a big one to reset this fight and keep us neck and neck, but again, you look at Westside, how much value this guy is able to get in positions where often you call them one and dones. Not for him. Just keeps on going.
Really good Hunter's Fury as well from Cloud. I think that connected on multiple players, gave not only the positioning away, but also did some additional damage, completely disrupts the...
When the good old days will come back, and for CNET, he's looking to capture that spark yet again. And indeed, new heroes. Valorant, we know, has a crazy high ceiling as well on that Senzi. 5-3. GX building up some steam, pushing the economy of Pacific to the limits. So they have another full buy here, but it's expensive. And the ultimates they have to fall back on really just come down to that Viper's Pit. This time, presence on C. The mid pushes the adaptation from GX, but left all alone is Cloud, and now he's surrounded, not so easy to get out. Scot-free, a price to be paid, and the paranoia should lock that in. Pacific trade out the early fight, and we'll get a plant now.
And they'll run it back this time, but they do have the overdrive.
Nice.
Pit makes sense. Gonna make it tougher to get out. What's saying that? Ara's just gone. Rifle retrieved. One's been killed out by the flames as well, so that's at least going to make things a little bit easier. Almost a frag, a swing around from Grabinho, but that was the low player. They still are yet to find the Viper of Valorant lurking in the darkness. But the problem is that spike positioning. They now need to swing out of the pit. They need to go looking to try and deny. And the second they are, they're just waiting on the other side. It was an idea to stop them getting back into the site, but the second they did, that post plant fell apart.
Yeah, it's the fact the cage from Flickless, he had a safe space to jump into, so Cooper couldn't punish him. And once, as you said, once they break out of that, you're kind of done at that point.
It's like, that's why Arrow, while the pit was still going up, was like, I'm sending it over the top. Like, the worst thing is, you can correct me if I'm wrong, let's have a look. He did not use overdrive.
No.
He went out with an op in hand, thinking, I will pick up a gun, which is insane.
It is a little bit
when
mental.
you have an ult that's not like what you need to keep for a rainy day, really.
Yeah. A bold play from Ara, but the confidence showing, and yeah, he didn't find the result, but drawing the eyes of the attackers was all he needed to do. 6-3 as we go to a pretty hefty advantage for GX. And again, this is a map that they want to be winning. Knowing the Pearl is up next, big adjustments to be made there, and a very tough loss for them. Last week, the walk up here from CNET's being watched. He's going to go straight into that crosshair, but he fires a shot into Ara. Returning to the site, this time with a 5 versus 3, and no pit, but it looks like it's already a guaranteed win.
Yeah, no, the Hunter's Fury in the back pocket as well. Like, sure, you have Westside's ult, but he would need to get more than his money's worth to be able to break back into this site.
I'd take those odds.
What I will say, though, is that if you were going to ask me for a benchmark coming into this half, how many rounds GX needed, I would have gone with 5. So I think they're already past the benchmark on the defensive side. Like, they managed to get 6 rounds in the attack versus Vitality. No offense to Pacific, even if people are putting them at the bottom, which I am included. But we'd put Vitality much higher on the marker. Like, they are a team that we expect to be at the top. So I think the GX can be fairly happy with this half already. Of course, you don't want to teeter out at the end. You don't want to have the chance to go in with a lead and then lose a few rounds in a row. That means a pistol could throw this into the mix. But I think GX right now are in a very good spot. And I'm waiting to see, okay, what more do Pacific have if they're going to challenge more on this map?
Well, a 2-round gap with 2 left to play for. We could end up neck and neck, and a big investment from Pacific. The op in hands for CNET, cash to buy up in the next if needed, thanks to that victory being pretty damn clean. So they've got the ability to fight for both of these, but as you said, expectations. We're about 5 for GX. They've already exceeded, which now puts the pressure on for Pacific to deliver. Flickless revealed in the corner. Hunter's Fury on its way. It won't find its mark, but they're spamming the cross back out. He's on 11 HP, but somehow survives. And that what should have been an opening pick for Pacific. Pressure applied to this side of the map instead results in the rotate going in with deep control for Ara. Early rotation through the spawn, but it's all on Ara. How much can he get here? A favored situation. It looks to get even better, but hold on. Valorant in 7. They pulled this back. Pacific somehow are now in the lead. Flickless on 11's walking into Valorant and winning the fight. Okay, neck and neck again.
Well, the way we've got here isn't pretty. I don't like it, but we are in a 3v3. The man they're walking into is Westside. Oh, not really going to play a part here. It's all going to be about those headshots. So the first one's clean, but doesn't manage anything more. His two teammates on the other side of the map, and well, even after the last fight, Flickless is still on 11 HP.
Well, Ninja's not looking any healthier. I mean, we've got about as even a fight as you can imagine. Early info for GX, cleared out Garrett's window, look towards site now where both players sit. The headshot delivered, and the man with 11 HP. Somehow, he was in that first fight. They sent everything his way. Reveals, Hunter's Furies, the entire team spamming him as he exits the corner. And in the end of the round, he's still drawing breath. He's the one carrying them across the finish line. Fair play, Flickless. My goodness.
I don't think Alarante's going to sleep tonight. Like, that is one of those rounds where you just go like, you needed to connect the bullet.
11 HP.
He should have been, like, the fact that he's re-swinging mid, like, even the way you set it up, you're like, well, he's dead.
It's a madman.
Like, he's dead. Like, he's got to be dead. He's currently 12 and 6. We talked about the sort of swap of roles, him taking over from Westside and maybe it being a little bit of a downgrade, if anything, but he has looked very good in this map. And a round that can, yeah, pretty much single-handedly put down to him. And wins.
GX lose their trip early on towards B. Got to fill in that space. That almost works as an early rotate, though. Cloud's much closer by, but with an op. Oh, he's going to want to get there before the push comes in. Buying time doesn't seem to work out, but then Flickless steps up to the plate. Cage to play around. Finds another! And eventually, he will fall, but he's done more than his fair share. Still some slack to be picked up. And a 2 versus 2. Nice work by Ara, coming in from heaven just in time, and Cloud's following up. Now they'll double swing. 7 manages to isolate one, dodges the shots, and slides in for a little action. Neon on Neon. Wide goes Ara, and puts 7 in the dirt.
It's an 8-4 half, but it could have been one of a million different scorelines with the way that the last few rounds have gone. I don't know how we can explain anything that's just been going on. Do you know what I've heard, though, Mitch?
What's that?
I've heard on the grapevine that we don't need to explain things that have been going on.
Oh.
Because there is a man who is maybe slightly smarter than us, and that man is called Mini, who's going to show us how to do Viper Walls.
This is a little crooked, but you get the vibe. Cut the door in half, cause confusion, assert dominance, easy rounds. DQ, don't you disrespect my boy, all right? That's my rival's duo.
He used an op in the skirmish. We're allowed to disrespect
Only for 2 rounds. Only for 2 rounds. It's fine.
The 2 that closed. Wow, this pistol's going to be really important for Pacific. They left this map open. I guess they watched how GX would dismantle on this map last week, and as of right now, they have not been able to recreate that. Already the C site completely under enemy control. They're hunting for the Lurker. The Lurker is chilling with his friends. That is Flickless. He's on site. And they aren't getting in on that flank, but the second this trip is broken, yeah, you're immediately going to see players start to look the other way, start to realize that they're being encroached on. And the worry as well for Pacific is this has been quite a slow look at the retake. That time has been ticking.
Keep on ticking it. Shall Paranoia sent through. Now it's time for Pacific to close the distance, but they haven't accounted for Flickless up close. Already taking one, leaving another on a sliver of health, and it looks like nothing but a sea of success for GX. CNED, 10 health and a dream, but a dream soon to come to an end. Great work by GX, and with this pistol, victory seems assured.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I came into this thinking, okay, if this is even an 8-4 in the other direction, GX's attack side was good enough that I would still be fairly confident they could turn it around. Them being 9-4 up and just about heading into their attack side, yeah, I'm very confident. I think that clearly Pacific saw what happened when we can recreate that, and GX have obviously gone back to the drawing board. As I said, their defense was a lot more dynamic, a lot more playing into those retakes, which is what you can do when you have an aggressive comp. And now they get to play on the side that was pretty decent versus Vitality, and where Westside was an absolute monster.
Which in this half was the first half as well.
Yes.
So pretty good signs that will
this
continue.
This is his better half. I don't know if he'll get more kills because he might run out of rounds.
Yes, that is the concern. But for Pacific,
Maybe get 2 aces.
Maybe they can help him out by closing the gap a little, giving him a few 3K round losses. This feels unlikely with how things have gone so far. And remember, next map up, not so favorable for GX, but if they're playing like this, if they're looking this dominant, who knows?
He's done the Houdini magic trick wrong. You're not supposed to die at the end.
Careful now.
Take the gun away at least.
That would be a way more terrifying magic trick.
It would. You ever seen The Prestige? It's a phenomenal movie. I won't explain how that plays into
story
it.
as well.
I must have missed that title card. I must have missed that one come up.
Well, they're just going to die to the spike, aren't they?
Yeah.
There's not really anything else you could do here. Do you want to give Westside more orbs?
No.
No. Does he only need 1? So is he going to run at you? Yes. Does he have anything to lose? No.
He's getting his orb one way or another here. As soon as you hear that flash, you know you messed up by being anywhere close to this angle. Oh, no. Oh, no. He's got 2 out of that. I mean, they've only got classics, but, you know, they say strength in numbers, but he's picked the herd apart. Phenomenal job. And again, not just the ult, it's the confidence builder. He could have walked in there and got shut down. He'd be happy enough. But to take 2 with you, you just feel like you're so much better. And right now, it looks like he is.
Hey, where are you going?
Oh, he's having a good time. Pipson's having a good time. Waylander's having... it seemed like he was having an okay time. But right now, yeah, we've got to look at this as a must-win round for Pacific. Rifles on the board for GX, and they have an ultimate to play with. Mitch, I'm going to be honest with you. They might just be able to take this bonus.
Yeah, I have no reason to doubt it. No reason whatsoever. I'd like to see how things are working inside GX. That's what I've been wondering all game, but you know what? It's time to take a listen.
I'm stand 140. Can you walk? Come. Walk garage.
They left mid, I think.
You're gonna walk garage. I'm gonna walk garage, Scout. You can do...
Boss. This trap was behind the box now. Fuck. Omen, backside.
Go towards
flat,
side.
no?
Go towards side, you.
They're giving up C, by the way.
Yeah, he's city. He's top city.
3, 2, 1.
It's just like me, for real.
Can't believe he was behind the box. Nice job by Cupert. There's Flickless down, and Grabinho, last man standing. If he makes this happen, we end the game, end the series here and now. Nice paranoia, but he'll be put to bed. Okay, a nice round for Pacific, a little flawless on the board, but they have quite the climb back to rise back into this series.
Yeah, and this is one of those moments, so you get an in-zone flawless off the back of what has been a bit of a rougher time. You get that economy booming, you get yourself into a position where maybe you could build something back into this half. We are looking at it though as
Nice, let's go guys, good job. Nice.
As the players other than Seven, because Seven's had like, well, let's put it up. He had won 50% of their rounds up until that point, which it's not a great sign. But he's 18 and 11 as a duelist Neon who's diving into sites. He's doing his job. You now have to look at the rest of the team. CNED, I want to see more. You are that defensive side aggressor. You've got the ability to steal TP out. I'm expecting damage from him here.
Yeah, 7, duelist Neon after the attack side, after losing 8-4. Phenomenal work from him. But how deep does the bench go on Pacific? And right now, well, the bench narrowing out a little bit. Only room for 4 left, but in comes 7, now on site ready to defend this Ninja. Has timing to walk through that smoke, but Westside was watching it. It all falls into the hands of 7 yet again. This time, only 2.
Only.
More than their share, certainly. So much more to be done. Damage onto Westside, but a wall's going to give him a little bit more health to play with. And the flash might mean it just doesn't matter.
Cover going out.
Oh, they know where they are as well. So he's going to actually wrap back through heaven.
Nasty.
Still has a flash available as well, so jumping out might be a bit of a risk, but never mind. Westside with his 3rd of the round and Flickless there to close once again. This said how devastating this Phoenix on attack can be, especially in his hands, or more so in his hands than many others.
Yeah.
But it's exactly what I'm talking about. You have your duelist on the site, who's able to come out with 2 kills while everybody else has fallen, you have to kind of look at other people and go, okay.
Cannot kill in the back? What's happening? Where is this ace that you did?
Oh. Well, I mean, he did get 2 there. I don't think 7 did anything particularly bad. Fair enough. They're giving it to him.
He's the guy standing up. You got to give it to the guy standing up. You don't give it to the guy sitting down.
11-5. The Pacific feels like, although we talked about GX as the sleeping giants, it's Pacific who haven't woken up today, but 7 wide awake, taking the first. It's West Side down, the big danger, but now more threats pop up. A shot missed. Oh no! Oh, the man that we've come to look at as one of the best. The prince that was promised long ago, and my goodness, that's not what we were looking to see here today. How far they've fallen, 12-5, and I'm begging you, EVS team, I'm on my knees begging you, don't give us that in slow-mo. At full speed, fair enough, but just let's not see the hero that once was there for EMEA, our champion. Let's not see him at his lowest. I don't want to. I don't think I can take it.
I'm surprised we're not already looking at it. I'll be honest.
Mid-round replay.
I'm surprised the second you said it, we are just going to go to that. But it's hard to. It really does feel like we're in a scenario where there's only one player on the server for Pacific, and the second that we see 7 go down, it's round over. I think we've had pretty much every single other player just whiff massively at some point. Like this one I can forgive because it's a neon sliding across. Oh, it's getting slower as well.
Oh, he hit him in the end though, didn't he? Almost
yeah, he did.
had him.
55.
That was the op shot missed right before it as well.
They were so busy slowing it down, they forgot to bleep the swear word. And now we've just cut to Pips and laughing at him. Brilliant, brilliant. Yeah, let's. This
side, no shortage of players standing tall.
That's going in the end of day highlights, isn't it?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Get the hour quote in there. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. Well, 12-5. 7 in a row needed for Pacific, more than double their current stance. Far more than double their current
7
streak.
in a row. 7 aces, you mean, right?
They've just been bullied. There's no need for you to join in.
Okay.
West Side and Ara, okay. Traded out. CNET. He's heard the criticism. He saw the replay and he said, not again. Not like that. The Prince is back, baby. Where's his throne? Let's go, CNET. Get that one slow mode. Beautiful. Oh, thank God.
Can we just run the Araco again? It works here as well. It works here.
Woo-wee! Couldn't hit a barn door last round, but now look at him go.
Well, it feels that long ago,
Best game of 2 as well, to be fair, but let's move past that.
Okay, 6 more of those needed.
See, it wasn't an ace.
Yeah.
It wasn't an ace. It was a 4K. That's half the rounds have come from 4 or 5Ks.
Now we only
let's
need
move
6, 7.
You know, chat's going wild now. You know what you've done. You know what you've done.
Okay, he's truly back. He's back. It's 2021 again. Ah, no, it's not. We're back in 2026. Cupid has managed to trade things back into an advantage. Hunter's Fury through. They're kind of boxed in, but I felt like he was closer to hitting his teammates there than hitting anyone else. But maybe a missed call, maybe a little bit of a worry that somebody has managed to slip the net. Ninja still has the drone. It's going to be broken. Paranoia immediately in, and Cloud tries to cover. It should be a clearance. Grabinho does well. And now left to, well, the man of the moment, but not this time. Okay, the streak continues. Pacific have found their footing. They still need 5 in a row.
The worst part about that is they, just on the way out, they saw that Grabinho had TP. Let's play a game. Where could he possibly have TP'd to if not that corner? It's like the only place he'd go, and no one checked it. They gave him a chance to wipe the whole team.
If he jumped, he could have got behind.
But they saw in the reveal he was
screen.
not jumping. They saw feet on the floor. So it wasn't logs. Maybe he went onto
it's
flat in the
loud on
open.
the stage.
Yeah, it's loud, which affects their vision, of course. A bit of an oversight, but they adjusted quick enough. Gravino didn't get a 3K spray down and end the game, thank God. And Pacific, they get another bite of the cherry. It's 7 down early. Great flash. But this is something we've seen so many times, even last week from GX. The Phoenix flash in the same position being used.
That's the first
and
time they've done
Pacific
that.
completely caught off guard by it. That's not a good sign.
I think we have cut. I think our observers done a great job of cutting to that flash almost every time he's done it. So even if they watch the VOD, they will have seen that flash.
Genuinely, yeah.
Grabinho got tagged. Silver linings. 7 is dead again, though. But, you know, last 2 rounds, they haven't needed him at all, so it's not a problem. Ninja, great position. Should be at least 1 and 2. And Grabinho's low. You know, if anything, it's an advantage. Valorant, at least he's traded evenly.
Yeah, it was clean as well, Tom. It was so clean. That's the important part.
Yeah, really clean.
So just precision off the charts. And now backside, CNED isolated from Cupid. Looks like Cupid's going to make his way through Garage to meet up, but CNED's already backed up, given the space, great awareness, and a good play in the 2v2. Pacific, another round on the board, now 12-8. This loss stops being the story that we were selling of, well, look, I'm worried even about Pearl if Pacific can't show up. Now individuals are activated. CNED had possibly the worst whiff of his life, and then popped off ever since. And this is what we wanted to see. Back on the horse.
Nice! Bro, the off-angle god is there, bro.
I don't know what he said.
The off-angle god is there, bro.
Oh, got you. Okay.
Don't worry,
Thank you. Thank you for that.
I'm a good translator from English to English.
Just, none of those words landed for me. I don't know what happened there.
If anyone needs a translator from English to English, I got you. Don't worry. I'm here to help.
Oh, here we go. Deep play by 7, and Cloud just clarts him. Unbelievable. Cupid stuck inside the window will be slid on by Ara. This is chaos. I've seen death matches with more of a defensive and offensive line, more structure than what I'm witnessing here, and don't slow it down. For God's sake.
He hit the shots.
What's
going on?
What is he doing?
No, they forgot about Westside's ult. He went back into the corner, and there was nobody covering the ult anymore.
He didn't move.
Oh, no.
Wasn't he out of ult for like a second there and just staring at a wall?
I guess either he assumed he was dead or it was still delayed. Nonetheless, somehow CNED now has a chance. Ara is looking the other way, but his teammates a little bit further away. There's still a chance to fight this. CNED's going to get the kill through the smoke. Somehow this is a 1v1. If I had hair, it would be falling out, but you never know. Greatest clutch of all time. Grabinho on the other side. Time has been ticking. CNED needs to move, He spotted him, but Grabinho's going to close it. Oh, the round is over. So is the game. GX are a map up.
A clean and
They're running. They don't actually have like a Neon or something secondary that if he dives in, uses the stun as he could in the past, someone else is there. No, they won't be there. So clearly they had another goal overall, so I don't necessarily hate it. I did hate watching how it happened last time, though. So I want to see if, again, though, they managed to fix a lot of their issues from when they played Vitality. We've now got to see if they've been able to do that in fairly quick fashion.
Well, aggression from GX. We saw this as a downside on the previous map, something Pacific were ready for, but this time Valorant lurking out on that veto, gets caught off guard. West side delivering headshots! And now a 4 versus 2 thanks to his efforts. The flank coming through, connects every shot, and 4v1, the IGL of Pacific. A kill under his belt already, but 20 HP left. He is done for, and Flickless makes sure of it.
Yeah, solid pistol, and a solid pistol for Ara, more importantly. What did you say? He was 1 and 8? He's already 1 and 0.
First
so
kills,
the one is there. Yeah, he was 4 and 14 overall in that map, so it was definitely a rough day out. Again, like, I'm going to caveat it. They were up against Vitality. We have very high expectations of Vitality. And also just like some of the rounds they lost were like Chronicle winning a 1v3 and like things where you go like, how that happens. That happens to everyone who's ever played against Chronicle. Even still, this is where the expectation is going to be higher on Pacific. It's their map choice. a map which haven't been massively successful on when they played it before, but
2-0.
yeah, there you go. It's already almost guaranteed to be better than last time, unless he dies first for like the rest of the round of the game.
Yeah, even then, 2 openings, set your team up for success. It might balance out. Nicely done. Pressure on Grubby, but he's still alive. They're really trying to finish him up, but they can't land the last shot. Grubby's got so much backup there. Everybody chipping in. In my round game, I'm dead 4 times already, but fair enough, man. That's a good team. GX 2-0, and a strong start as well. This hasn't been scrappy so far.
Yeah. Been a little bit more confident. Happy to get aggressive. But it's kind of in the next round where we'll see if things get a little bit tougher for them. Obviously, this is where the buy comes up for the side of Pacific. This is where they can look to set that pace a little bit more without having that same level of disadvantages. But I'm just want to see how Seven and CNED are going to work off of each other. It's, again, quite an explosive, quite an aggressive attack side comp. And we haven't been seeing too much of that raise recently.
Well, a slow approach. 3 players towards B long, but no intention of fully pushing down, just robbing some info with the smoke, and they'll back off. See how they handle this one. Let's jump in with the comms again.
Can we pick you together?
Yes, wait.
1, 2.
We poke B-Link, we go
I can talk
B-Link with my Roomba, okay?
Yeah.
I need a smoke.
Yeah, I can smoke close.
Yeah, smoke and then I Roomba. Rooming now.
I'm ready to pressure, tell me.
Walk hard.
I broke trap.
Keep walking hard, then you pressure
in.
Yeah, tell me when.
Okay, go pressure A.
Pressuring
We
down.
activate here. 1.
I'm in con, 2, 3. They're anchoring side, guys.
Do you have Rave Nade? Rave Nade
Yes, I
backside,
have
like
Rave
secret. We just need to raise in secret.
I'm coming.
I only have smoke for flower. Go speed up.
Main.
Stop side.
1, 2.
Nading.
Close main.
Arena.
Hold the main player.
Low HP Astra.
Speed up already. Go.
I see sight.
Oh, now full site control landing into their hands as we saw and heard, but now GX have got players at the gates ready to rally back through on the retake, and the spike still hasn't gone down. Utility making a bit of an issue, and a wide swing from Cloud. He's got one from miles away. West side chimes in. Grubby's there too, and Cupert, the last man standing. He tries to find the final player, but the final player finds him. He knew about Cloud, but Grubby landing the death blow puts 3-0 up for GX. A strong start if ever we've seen one, especially with how Pacific moved towards that site. They're aware someone's going to be sitting there, but Cloud still manages to get away with 2.
Yeah, I think as well, you just see the value that we always spoke about.
Nice ground.
When they play those double initiators. Like, it was the first usage of the drone from Cloud, takes away all the abilities, also reveals players at the back of the site we saw from Flickless. It's one of those things where, like, okay, sure, you can't really get into your post plants, but also it just means they can take all of those risks of swinging everybody in early because you already know where everybody's going to be.
Well, this is now still a decent buy for Pacific. They've come in with the light shields on most players, still got the rifles to work around. The money potentially getting out of control on GX with a clean round here. It makes sense that they still want to commit to this and not take it a little bit slower. You can see Salvo's lined up. The attempt. He obviously can't see the player icons as we can. He's attempting to box them into this fight if they do overextend, allowing his teammates to have a favorable fight, but they're getting the idea on the side of GX that this play will come towards Art instead. Players shifting back and forth, waiting for Pacific to strike, but as time ticks on, no move being made, which is fine for GX with all the space that they've got towards the enemy spawn.
Looked like there was an opportunity, but not too much damage done. 40 seconds left on the clock as Pacific now need to, well, I say need to get a move on. They need to make a decision. They're now coming back out towards the B side, which is a decent read. Even still, though, Aras managed to get in behind them. The man advantage claimed by GX, but a post plant on that B side looking pretty likely.
Yeah, we saw him posturing for that fight. Now catches him off guard, finds another. The push up from Seven, spotted as well, but the punish is still there. A 3 versus 2, Pacific having again to climb up the squad that was bottom of the table last stage. Now falling behind in this series already. One series behind them that didn't go all too well, and the end of stage one could be just around the corner for them. Jupert manages to land one, CNET on another, and there he is! We saw glimpses towards the end of the last map, and a big play might just reignite that flame for CNET.
He finally gets to have his neon revenge. Use that slide to his own advantage. I was definitely worried from the point where they didn't know Flickless was that far in.
Yes, baby! Come on, come on.
Bien, vamos.
It's about the most energetic I've seen CNET in years.
I don't know. You remember when he elbowed that table?
That is true.
That
I
was
do remember
energetic. It wasn't positive energy.
No, no.
But it was energetic.
As bubbly as
I'll
I've
never
seen
forget
it.
that. That was one of my favorite moments ever.
Especially because the old meme was like, CNET when he wins, CNET when he loses. It's just him
he's always
staring at the
so chill.
screen.
He's like elbow table.
Back here. Bye.
Nice little bit of info for Ara. Maybe clicked that earlier than he wanted to. But he finds them all here, and so the rotate already underway. Decent buy for Pacific, of course, yet again, with a rocket launcher. It only finds one, and it's a trade. Ara's been doing so well. Another opening duel under his belt. Being on fire, but hold on! He might have opened the round, but the door shut in their face on the way through that cosmic divide. Cloud all alone, 3 to take down, and chances looking slim to none. A high-low, lower setup in play, and that's going to get another round for Pacific.
Yeah, a great round from Valorant, especially. Mentioned that he's had a pretty quiet start to not only week one, but the previous map as well. And I was just going to say, it's unlucky with how many sort of like light shields and weaker purchases into that round. The one player Ara shoots, it takes a bullet. Like, that's enough for him to go down with it. But then it was the attempt to get in before. We heard last week when talking about Pearl, Minnie was saying that the post plant on that B site's really hard to break through. So they tried to go early. They tried to get through the cosmic divide, and well, that was their demise.
Well, round 6, and again, presence towards B, but CNET waiting outside of A is going to be at least destroying the Prowler, keeping boots on the ground on that side of the map as West side falls, but a push through mid. We've seen it before, and Ara, he's just got in range, I believe, to hear that trap. Doesn't want to give them the information and sits back waiting. Alorante, though, suspicious of a flanker, thinking that with no presence on B and a man down, they'd already take info elsewhere, and he spots him. Doesn't take the kill or the fight, but this is almost better for him. Not avoid, you know, he goes out for it eventually, scares me a little bit. You don't really want to give them opportunities to pick up those better weapons, to take fights back into their hands, and CNET does well to shut down that mid-aggression. Now the world is Pacific's oyster.
Yeah, they needed to clear out that player, because otherwise they might be walking into a B stack. And instead, it actually serves the opposite idea. We've cleared one player out. Grabinho spots the Prowler, but they are now going back in the other direction. Leaving that timer maybe a little bit lower than I'd like. The one real danger from my perspective here is the salvo. And actually the C's.
Yeah.
Like, there's a few pieces of utility here that the lower that clock gets, the scarier things are. And if they think they've sold a full fake out here, that could be a little bit more of a problem. Here goes the potential of that C's. There goes the salvos. Cupid's not going to survive, but 7 is waiting. The second player close enough that it isn't too dangerous. Spams would need to kill him, and it doesn't. Now it shouldn't be too dangerous.
Oh, well, already getting an ult out of Ninja in this round. It's
not too bad.
He's chipping away at the ult economy. See if that, pardon me, damage can be done. I like the Pacific just took that safe space towards Art. Goal! Let's see how safe it is. 2 left, both towards this angle, but time is going to be a big factor. 7 pushes forward. The Cosmic Divide shrouding his steps as he gets up close, but a player behind. It's Grubby, who's ended up taking the kills. CNET shot in the back, and the round falls into the hands of GX once again. But this time, it's gonna have so much more of a sting to it. A round that never should have been.
Yeah, it just seemed like they had 2 completely different ideas of how to play that post plant. 2 players fairly aggressive in their stance, swinging in, and then 2 players sat back. And the second you give Cloud his ult, that puts the entire round in doubt.
It was our eco.
Yeah. Yes, 2 slightly different outlooks.
Some strong words.
No, he was actually saying, guys, that was really unlucky.
Yes.
Anyone could have lost that.
Excellent lip reading there, Tom. I need a little bit of work, but
Also
it's a good
translation,
baseline.
because I imagine you said it in Spanish.
Quite possibly, yes. Well, that round really hopeful. I mean, on Pacific's camp, they'll hope it's a blip in the radar, but that's a really big blow to be dealt
There's been a
early
fair
on.
few blips.
On a map where GX have looked so poor previously, now coming in with Ara playing the nerfed Waylay, and well, it looks like he's gotten a buff individually. And this, I love this play. Super passive from GX. So many of the rounds have had them pushing up mid, taking space, taking fights. Pacific gear up for that, look for early mid fight, take the free space. And all the while, the strength here is the control in A main, the Cypher setup on B, and the fact that they will sit back for the most part and just wait. The only real risk is Grubby, and they are about to pressure him.
Well, I think as well, Alarante's just used Evolution, so he's going to be able to avoid a lot of this utility. That's a surprise factor that I still feel like some might not necessarily be used to being dead. He's not immune to a bullet to the face. Nightfall hits onto 7, so he's down to just 1 health, and that time is ticking with their players slowly being diminished. They haven't even destroyed any of the trips. It's going to make things even harder to get through this utility unscathed. Well, nice shots from Ninja. He's given them an opportunity again. The Salvo's still alive. The jump across is risky. But that was the danger, and now the spike on the deck. Round over, unless they overface, which they shouldn't.
No, it would be a crazy round to throw.
It would be a crime.
Genuinely, yeah, they would be investigated. But for GX, really nice, man. The fact that late round aggression still comes into play, but they avoid it early on. They don't pressure the predictable play around mid that we've seen from them so often. Instead, it's the super late walk up through A after they confirm the hits coming in there. Didn't even notice that very well played by Cloud to be wary and ready for that scrap. And 5-2. This is a
enough of it all at the same time, but then when you lose like a 2v4 versus a team that's playing an eco, you kind of then go, yeah, those are the bits I want to see ironed out.
Yeah, some work to be done. In terms of time for stage 1,
See that bucket?
very much running out. And next week you face a Fnatic hot off the back of the battle against Vitality. And if they lose that one, you're going to face a wounded Fnatic, and that's the worst Fnatic to face.
It's either way is bad. If they beat Vitality, you go, oh,
They're strong as hell.
It might be the best team in the group. If they lose, you go, oh, they're going back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
So wait, you can't even take it to the maps they would lose, because you know that they're probably the team most likely to fix those mistakes. So yeah, it's a really bad time to face them. So it'd be nice to go in with a win.
It would. Things looking unlikely here. What should be a strength for Pacific, and more importantly, a weakness for GX. This played out in an unexpected manner.
Okay, so CNED with the Bucky. There we go. I was about to say, CNED with the Bucky made a little bit of sense. Cooper with the Bucky makes absolutely no sense. So
Just pop a load of smokes and run through them.
He has this. I am sure with his Team Liquid Academy days, he was very used to just playing awful weapons and giving the guns to young, crazy, talented players.
30 seconds left.
You're in the tier 1 now, bud. You could take the gun sometimes.
No wall to break through, but nobody watching that cross. If it's a blitz towards elbow, there's danger for Grubby, but he will be slowed for now. Great timing from Ara, going out for the fight, finding one, and now the dash out. Made it up into heaven. Wonderful work from Ara. And again, success for GX in dominant fashion with an in-zone flawless on the board. Pacific are being left in the dust.
Yeah, I actually I don't know if this will manifest itself as much on the attack side, but I almost quite like it for Ara's sake that that combo of utility has died. Because then it's like, oh, can you dive in and do this? Doesn't work anymore,
no,
sorry.
I'm
just going to have to use my utility for me and maybe sit on an angle with an operator.
Yeah.
The thing I'm good at. So it might remove some of the players just having to like literally die all the time. I think that was the case even when we saw some of the changes to Jet, where it's just like, yeah, I'm not just going to dash into a smoke anymore every round.
Definitely from what we're seeing, it's benefiting. I think, though, here on the defense, it separates it out into being more individual pieces of utility for individual moments, right? When you go to the attack, I'm curious to see how he's going to make use
still do it
of this agent. Because, yeah, again, you maybe do want to be diving in, but just for info this time, making that recall much quicker, just one operation instead of two. But I'm not super sold on it. but I also haven't seen it in this patch just yet. And with how Ara's playing right now, you might not even need to go to that old style. The op trained in on an angle. It's now being smoked off. The jump up would be risky, and you'd maybe even have to burn your recall for it, just as a safety. But instead, they lose any information there, and now Pacific can walk up to A, where there's still quite a lot waiting for them.
Yeah, Pacific have been trying these fakes a lot, but they're up against a double initiator, and so that hasn't really worked. Like against double controller, maybe you can try and pull that off. This time though, they have managed to catch West Side. And they did rotate in towards middle.
30 seconds left.
The players that they saw were caught.
Spike planted.
Now Ara still does have his ultimate available. One piece of utility that is still powerful over on that waylay. But with how widespread some of these players are and the fact they've caught Groovy, see whether or not they invest it here.
Going for this at this point, near impossible. An uphill battle, although they'll catch Cooper. It's still double the numbers on the other side. An op in hand, just not worth the risk. And they won't throw those credits away. Instead, a save call, and Pacific find their third. And you can see from Pacific, although they weren't forced into a fight late, Cooper was the only one taking the risk. Everybody else was playing further back. You had waves of utility ready to be thrown in. I think Seven was just holding the grenade. You had the C's for Ninja as well. This gets them around. How repeatable is it? I mean, realistically, this comes off them walking into the site where the Sentinel's set up and doming him, which is a good outcome. But when you're against Westside, it's not often a repeatable outcome.
Yeah, it's one as well where they because of their initial push towards B didn't really sell anything, but their pressure in mid did. Like it pulled in this more aggressive stance from GX, and so it was only Westside on that side of the map. And yeah, if you do win the 1v1 fight, which most people normally don't, that can help you out. Early space taken again. Ninja one-off ultimate, so potential maybe to get that online from the orb or go towards that showstopper, depending. Either way, they're getting close to a lot of ults.
Important to note that they've spotted 2 players here, but neither of them are Westside. That could almost sell as a ruse, but now cages go up. They know, and already traps are going to be destroyed. Utility sent through for that, and over the top. Oh, it's a risky play up against Westside, and Seven pays for it with their life. A 4v5, but the post plant at least secured for Pacific. A safe grounder, so they think. They move towards actually fighting the site. Ult goes in from Ara, perfectly timed. He's wrapped around. Shot lands, leaves him low, and Grubby cleans up the kill. Numbers keep on ticking in favor of GX as the defuse gets its way to half, and 3 kills in the blink of an eye. Flickless, not even involved in the final fight. He was just sat there diffusing away, and 7 on the board for GX. Very nicely done. And again, comes back to what we said. How often are you going to be able to dive on Westside like that and take him out? And not very often is the answer.
No, especially if he's seen you and knows that you're there. I think that sort of retake was really, really well played, though, by GX, because I looked at that initially and I was like, okay.
That I don't even know what they do.
All right, then.
Oh, they're so lost, he doesn't even know what they're doing.
I was going to give them credit for their retake, but I guess it's irrelevant because he thinks they're bad.
He thinks they're awful. Wow.
Well, especially with the Nightfall thrown in as well, that's got to be a painful loss. Showstopper picked up. Still some weaponry missing. Cooper, again, going to be that sacrificial lamb. And Ara waiting on the corner. And has Grabinho for support. That showstopper on entry last time managed to eliminate him very quickly, but it was the 2-shot sniper. It wasn't quite quick enough. The operator might just be a different story. And while they've definitely got a decent idea, they're even going to use a salvo to force them out of the corner and give Ara the fight.
The fight won.
That's the ult.
And he's out.
He killed Showstopper. He killed 7. That was the one ult they had. Of all the players to hit, that's the worst.
Have one more chance to use it. I mean, you know, Rocket's coming your way next round at least.
Gotta go.
Might make the next round even more telegraphed. One player down.
Go, go, go.
No response to take a fight towards this laneway. In through the double doors, but Cloud in the corner. CNET expected him, but can't
30 seconds left.
deliver the kill. And now, yeah, sure, they'll probably walk into A for free. The position of Westside, super passive. But he still has his cam, still has his trips, and all he'll do is hold the space. They're in a, well, I say that. He is still inching forward, and it's making me a bit nervous. If it was anyone but Westside, it'd make me terrified. But now the cavalry is here.
10 seconds left.
They're watching and waiting for Ninja to walk through. He's going to go right into the scope of Ara, and it's nothing but success again for GX. The Giants are stirring, and one hell of a lead built up already. It's fair to say Pearl's looking a lot better than last week.
Yeah, and that's, again, that sort of seems to be the worry. It looks like Pacific have tried to take this series to a place of, okay, we got to watch you play that last week, and we're going to repeat what Vitality did, and also then maybe add a few bits in ourselves. Well, you haven't really managed to do that. I will say where GX lost the majority of their rounds were on the attack side, but we're looking at a scenario where potentially they're only going to need to get themselves 4 rounds in the attack, and with how some of their players seem to be performing individually, Ara's had a massive turnaround.
4-0 opening duels right now.
Yeah. It's not looking like a good scenario, and it isn't looking like a strong pick for Pacific, which is what I'd much rather see than trying to lean into opponents' weaknesses.
They have to commend GX for patching up the gaps. We'll see how the next half goes, of course, but for now, at least a big success. That trap has slowed him down. 7. He's not going to make it quite as far, quite as fast, and that's going to make a big difference to that showstopper doing what it needed to here. At least it claims them space. A bit of crowd control, but they end up walking right into the op of Ara. Another opening duel to tally on up 5-0 in this half. And again, it just goes to show this guy has got such a high ceiling, and this time he's operating on it. But Ninja's pulled this back. Now a doable round till Ara sings in, and Cupert left alone. The shot lands to start. The man of the hour. He's faked it to start, and Cupert's not falling for it. He was waiting for the second tap. Swings in and misses the shot, but buying time is all he needs to do. Ara gets ahead of the problem. And plenty of time for the defuse. The golden child down on that stage. What a return to form for Ara.
Yeah, it has been an incredible half for one side and the other side with a lot still to do. We will hear, though, from Pacific in the feature.
Kickoff was...
That he is. This may be a quick conclusion. We did say, though, what we're waiting to see is Ara on that attack side. How are they going to make use of that waylay with the nerfs in play? And we are shortly going to get an answer.
Yeah, wow. Last pistol. Ooh, he was able to dome a couple of heads. There. With the Sheriff in hand, I'm guessing the utility might not be at the forefront of what he's planning to do. I have a feeling he's just going to try and shooty his way out of this one. They've all bought Sheriffs bar one player.
Yeah, they have. I was wondering about that one. You know, I've heard the stats.
Do you maybe think that they think they're better?
It's possible. I saw the stat, though, about it. I think 2 or more Sheriffs does increase your win rate in pistol rounds by quite a bit. 4 is actually more than 2. Okay. So I would say
there's no fall off.
That it might, well, yeah, maybe there's a minimum amount of ghosts, of frenzies, of classics, who knows? Shields and utility, perhaps.
Where did you see this stat?
It was told to me by some friends. So I said I saw it, I heard it, actually. I've been informed.
Were they a reliable friend?
Yes, they work on teams. I trust them. I trust them. I'll name them if I find out it's wrong. But for now, 9-3. If it's right, it's my idea. Okay. 9-3 for GX.
30 seconds
and a chance to really hammer home this victory. They're going aggressive with the Sheriffs. And it's going to be 2 wallbang headshots, missed shots on the other side. The spams and the smoke for CNET not lucky today. And even though 2 players are clinging on for dear life, GX still have a 2-man advantage.
Well, they've lost.
1 enemy remaining.
One of their Sheriffs.
You can stop there. They've lost. They've lost. Ara's on the scene.
Why is he dropped this Sheriff and got more kills without it? So, you know.
The damage done from the Sheriffs, you see?
He shot the remember the head. I don't think it made a difference. I think he was fine anyway.
Confidence, because he thought his teammates might have done the damage.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about.
1 enemy remaining.
I want to see if they ever do that pistol again with 4 Sheriffs, or if at this point they're just going, We're just
Yeah, I think they're 9-3 up, and they said let's just out-aim them at this point. And
It
look,
did work.
it worked. It worked beautifully.
Ara is
wrapping.
already, so he got, he's already had 3 kills in the attack. He got 4 kills in the whole map last time, so
yeah,
I think it's going slightly better.
his opening duels, I think they're 5-0 at this point. I mean, he's just been looking fantastic across the board. 6-0, pardon me. Sorry to undersell you there, Ara. And yeah, considering last time, 4 kills total, 1 and 8 in openings. You can say this is quite the improvement. Again, though, they were against some pretty steep competition for GX. Waiting for a move on that defensive side, trying to avoid the stack. They have, although they've pushed quite far down here on Beat Long, you take a look at the map and see that there's no real concerns. They've got trips covering their back. Watching mid, watching a long push, and they are now gravitating towards this B position. That makes me worried, because this is where all of the defense is. The best chance for Pacific, they're going to go through, aren't they?
Okay. Cage gets him out. Do they know there's a second player here? Well, they do now. And it might not matter too much. There you go. There's the slow. I don't even... Oh, it did hit. Just about. He got an assist.
I didn't even notice it, the pulse on the top of the head, but okay.
Or he just shot him a little bit.
Maybe he did damage, yeah. I think that actually is more likely.
I think it might be more likely, because it
Oh,
didn't
it
look like it was
shows.
fun.
Of course, we have the new HUD now that shows you,
there you go.
the assist. So it was just damage. And
In
in-zone
zone
flawless. Yes, yeah, we're perfectly synced on that one. That was beautiful. 11-3 now. And yeah, look for Pacific. They had the right numbers in the right place, and then they pushed through a smoke thinking, well, they might leave after seeing a few of us. We need the information. It's been so long since they actually pushed, since they took a fight. And when they walked through the smoke, the round was lost immediately. You're fighting rifles on range just as the reinforcements come in. 11-3, from bad to worse. But at least for Pacific, they now have rifles. But the downside is they can't really lose a round with these rifles.
Well, you know,
from here on out.
Last week, GX got 13-3'd.
Yes.
After they lost a map, I think, 13-8.
Yeah, actually, I think you're right.
Yeah. Are you getting deja vu?
It was 13-8, yeah.
There you go.
Exactly.
I got a good memory.
The worst part is, CNED said in the interview, you know, I hope to have a different score.
Yeah, I think he was talking about the BBL game.
Yes. Yes. 2-0's 2-0, sadly.
That was a better score. They're being forced all the way back. Gravwell, salvos, a lot of utility being used by GX, and now they're going to run down into what is a stack-up of players. Well, only one's managed to find the kill. Seven's been quiet. The 2 aces of the last map not really having the same impact. And a nice shot from Flickless, but that might be all she wrote. Spike down in a horrible position. They are pushing it to the west side, though, and you have to be careful doing that. And Ara, I think he's going to be figured out now. It's been too long where he hasn't reacted off anything his teammates done. So they are expecting a flop.
Left.
If he gets one, that ult could be so dangerous, but he needs the first, and it's Cupid
He can get the spike.
stepping back into Art. Now the spike is theirs. He doesn't know it, though. He doesn't know they've given it up and wrapped all the way around. He's trying to bait them on the jump out.
He's going to run out
buying
of time.
but the thing is, 12 seconds left. He's got to go. Dashes up and over. Sees nobody here. 10 seconds left. I don't think he's got time to make it back. No, he doesn't. He's miles away. He'd have to win both duels, and they will not offer those up today. A rifle carried forward, but a round lost. And Pacific, well, the start of the win streak has to be here and now.
Push him here. This is such a gamble. Yeah, it looked like they were going to try and push towards this position, but it's not worth the risk. Like, GX have credits to buy into the next round. The other side don't.
Enemy remaining.
Well, it won't be a complete duplicate of GX's score last week. There's at least that. One better for Pacific. They did pick the map, though. And again, I think all props to GX for coming in and rethinking how the approach is to this one. We had that aggression, but it felt much more tempered. I loved what they did with mixing up the mid control that they were constantly going for. Literally waited till the moment the Pacific said, all right, let's deal with that mid control. And they left mid. They left water. They left everything wide open and played the extremities, and then pushed up in the extremities super late round. It really feels like they are stepping up a level from what we saw last week, while Pacific kind of remain in the same spot.
I think that's the thing. Credit has to be given to Pips and Waylander. They're always good at sort of learning from their mistakes, adapting, getting better as the season goes on. Valorant in a good position. Again, it has not been a week to remember for him. Can he have that standout moment? It's going to be one, but he's definitely facilitated CNET to
remaining.
make that three. The
Spike
third one,
down
well,
B.
a little bit of luck that goes a long way. And this round's going to be far more important. The credits waning on the GX side. Another chance for a late comeback. They attempted it in the last map, and well, it didn't go great. CNET now a little bit low. You don't just want to throw credits into the wind, but you'd also like to
30
remove this
seconds left.
weapon from Groovy's hands.
Yeah, 2 players low in the next. Even an outlaw could go a long way. 20 seconds on the clock, 4 players to drop, and I think the word save might be circulating in their comms right now. But he wants to make this a bit more costly if he can. Bleed
10
out those
seconds
credits
left.
from Pacific. And he won't even get close. CNET on another 4K. And this is the thing, like the conversation today, Pacific, we know they've got 1 player here to play. We know that for sure, but how deep does the bench go? And I guess now that, again, we look at consistency as the issue, because they have rounds like this where CNET's popping off. We saw it at the end of Haven as well. We saw big rounds from Ninja. Alorante had some great flanks. It's just not there every time.
Yeah.
And also not at the same time either.
It seems like, yeah, very difficult for them to get all their stars firing, but also one player's comfort becomes another player's discomfort. Like the swap of roles onto Raze for 7, it just hasn't looked good. Like he is 7 and 14, and 2 of those kills came versus the bonus. This round though, much more of an opportunity. 7 playing anti-flash, 2 on a stack up.
Down.
Clearly expecting there to be a consistent amount of pressure put onto R, because they're very happy to give up the other side of the map. Stun through, it's a little bit shaky, but Ara, yeah, he's gonna have to just fall back. The rest of his team hoping to make their way through the smoke, and Ara has come up with a big double. However, the last 2 players sat with pistols, now a rifle found. Well, the information might just get them into the post plant.
Here.
If they can find the spike, it is hidden. Very difficult to spot. No, of course, they're just waiting.
Yeah, the suspicion you saw the ping go through from West Side, expecting that there will be a player a little bit deeper. And he's got the right read. 3 coming in just as he moves. Cupert steps into the angle, rips his head off, and leaves Grubby all alone. The timing, oh, it was
30
almost
seconds
perfect,
left.
but they've rounded the corner just as he got there. Ships in the night, but Alorante, the one to open the broadside. 6 now for Pacific. And again, I think back to Haven where they were 3-2 up. And then the game fell apart completely. A streak from GX. And it feels like the same thing here. A close enough start. 3-2 down, but
Nice, boys.
within punching distance.
My God, go.
And then they go quiet. And GX run away with it. They build up such a lead, and eventually Pacific get back online, but it's that low point in the middle that just gives too much. It asks for too much to be met on their side for that success to be found.
Yeah. You're talking for a point of needed a significant amount of rounds in a row. And they are still at that point. 5 rounds needed to get themselves level. A little bit more if they're going to take it in regulation, but I'm yet to have that level of belief. A buy round now back in, and while Westside versus Alorante has been a very one-sided story so far in this match, and with the B site now completely open for business, it really comes down to, can they kill Ara cleanly? And they can. That at least gives them a way back into this round, because a 5v4 retake on B, I don't believe at all. 4v4, there's potential, but it is still tough.
Well, they certainly know the flank is coming. And the man that's watching it is West Side. He can have support quite quickly. Indeed, the flank is almost all that's coming. CNET sitting back in spawn with the up, hoping for an overextension, but there is none. Instead, looking to meet them head on the flank, finding a double. In goes an IFO though. This is going to catch the majority. Does it reach all the way to the back? No, it doesn't. It leaves a bit of a gap, and in fact, that gap is the only place that they've got anyone standing. Flickless, the final one to fall. And Pacific, with a sensational retake with how it started. They're going to keep themselves alive, 11-7. I'm starting to believe the gap it's looking doable, crossable at least.
Well, they're halfway to being level. It would be a streak of 8 rounds in a row if they are to get there, but...
Yes! Come on!
I'll be one to get the blood pumping, that's for sure. Especially into that late round, I wasn't convinced that they were going to get back in. It seemed like even CNED wasn't until they get that Nightfall online, and then he starts moving, then he pops an ult of his own. Still going to be a purchase for GX, and their ults are building up. They have a lot of very high impact ultimates to potentially just get over the line. And now CNED with that operator, showstopper available, a chance for Valorant to evolve. They haven't had to use everything to get through these rounds.
Concealment.
Yeah, credits built up favorably as well for Pacific. They have a safety net to fall back on. Showstopper ready and available for this round, and Pacific already putting out a feeler on mid. Second Prowler's being sent in, saw nothing. And now the 4 players that are occupying that space on the defensive side, they have to decide where they go. Unfortunately, they go towards A. The rotation now slower, and CNED left on his own. Gets one, and even decides to stick around in a risky enough position, but that might get them the info when the smoke falls. We've seen GX flee towards mid, where now there is a fight brewing with Ninja. It's a bit of a risk being in this spot, especially when there's a trip right beside him to hold down that push, but it has worked out. The double, an advantage is built on from here.
What was he saying? The off-angle king? That's what he was calling himself earlier.
Last player standing.
And clearly it worked.
Spike
It was
down,
playing a
B.
slight, as you said, unorthodox position because of where they were placing that trap. But it's worked out. A big round for Ninja, and that climb back definitely going to be continuing at least a little longer. 5 rounds in a row now for Pacific. And we start to look back to that attack side
10
half versus
seconds left.
Vitality for GX. That was where they really struggled. I think it was 2-10. It just didn't get anything going. So if that's going to be the case again, and what was there before was just the momentum of that previous half getting them through, 3 now the difference. Pacific are genuinely getting themselves into a spot where I'm starting to question what GX have got left.
Well, that's it. They're on course
One enemy
to
remaining.
find that success. And in
Spike
fact,
down, B.
perfectly timed from GX, a timeout. Their first of the last 3 weeks,
Well, yeah.
especially with the teams they've yet to play.
But that's the thing, is like you're talking about Pacific, Vitality, and Fnatic alongside Eternal Fire. GX, pretty much the same, but they've already played Vitality. You swap them out for BBL. It's not better, is it? It's I'd say about the same in terms of where we put the teams at that top end. Many will have them on their way to London at the end of these next couple of months. And a pacey take being attempted. It's going to be the early trade, not too bad. 7 though, showstopper over the top, but Cloud's doing well. That Sheriff doing damage means he has his ultimate online, but did they expect Cupid? A snake in the grass, sneaking his way through, clears 1, clears 2, leaves just 1 man standing, and in fact, he'll take the lot. A clean sweep from Cupid as a solo retake, where the plant never even came in.
No, he interrupted it, got ahead of the curve, and now, well, we talked about the others having their big rounds. El Capitan stepped up to the plate too. Pacific looking online from top to bottom, while GX hot off a timeout. They find nothing. They get nothing. And I think that shows you everything you need to see.
See, do you know what? Do you know what's always good though? They say that like men sometimes suppress their emotions. Pipson never does.
I ain't never seen Pipson suppress a
There's
ball.
no suppression there. He lets it all out so that he can get back into the game.
He was shaking there.
Same as Alex. Alex don't suppress his emotion. He lets it out and then he gets himself back into the right mindset.
Bring back Barbar as a mental coach. That's what I want to see.
I do miss it.
Have you tried breaking the table?
The table is the enemy.
Pulls up some wrestling VODs for the guys to look at. Well, here we go. Deep play from Pacific. They're trying a bit of aggression, are going to be met by a trap.
They found my wire.
And that wire broken. Westside knows what's going on. Cam's going to spot one walking through, the others with a patient face. And now they'll group up. I like this. This could completely catch them off guard holding mid, but Westside not one to miss those kinds of shots. Oh, man.
I know
the right
exactly
idea from
where
Pacific, but GX, they were ready. And the fact that it wasn't just Westside, the Grabinho is there as well, is very unlucky for the defensive side. But those shots landed. There's no look about it. That's pure skill. Hold on. He's wrapping up behind Valorant. He's being launched, and the shots don't land. Cupid, great round last round. This one, yeah, would be a bit too much. And again, for GX, they pounce on him at the same time. Very nicely done.
yeah, made sure that there was never going to be any shenanigans. And as you said, I don't mind the call. I don't mind the idea, but it is just the shots again from Westside. So clean with it. Moving himself ever closer to the top of that board. And that's the problem.
Nice! Come
You see these sort of streaks going in, but when you are this far behind, a single round can be enough to break it. Like that's the moment that all of the doubt creeps back in, all of the worry of, okay, this map is slipping away, and all that momentum can just dissipate. Pacific need 3 in a row just to stay in this series. And maybe, like, I know it's super early, but with what we expect, maybe even stay in the tournament.
Bring them down.
Well, Pacific have the info early. And they're in the right position to avoid that ultimate coming through. The C's not so much. Ara's already going to get side control for free in the spam. It takes down 7. A wild spray through the smoke. I don't think he could see him from there. The X is further back than where the body actually was. He was still on the steps. Oh, that's devastating. A player down already. CNED on his way with an off. He spotted one close, but the stun doesn't catch, and there's a second man behind him. They are ready for this swing, waiting for it, and Ara doesn't need any help. But Valorant with a triple. They're still in this. They're still alive. Pacific have fought their way back, and the game far from over.
There he is. There he is. He's definitely been missing, and we've been waiting for those moments. Oh, we talked about the, like, Westside and how he's known for that sort of headshot capability. But if you talk to anybody in the tier 2, the name that always came up was Valorant.
Well, you know there was a lot of teams interested in taking him outside of Pacific as well. This man was a hot prospect, and
I need to walk it off.
That's what you're waiting to see.
I'm walking it off. I'm walking it off.
12 to 10. 2 chances to close this out, and the attack side historically not kind to GX. Ara 23 and 12 as well. I mean, again, what a phenomenal turnaround from this guy. But from what we've seen so far, it might not quite be enough.
Do you know what we've missed a trick on? We need a Pips and Pip, the Pip. We just have him in his live reaction the entirety of the round. It's like a watch party, but he's also in the coaching booth.
That's what I like about seeing when we tune into the comms. We can kind of see him in the corner and just...
He's beatboxing.
It looks like he's IGLing. It's like back in the day. What is this, a game of Fracture? 12 to 10, 2 rounds to go. And GX, they are on the verge of course correcting on that last week, setting themselves up to still be in contention. Maybe not for the top of the group, but to make it through. And oh, those players coming back in. Our timing is perfect. It looked like it was perfect, but 7 and Ninja dealt with by Flickless. Another huge round by him. CNED knows, and he'll catch one. He'll get out, but he is surrounded and has to fight his way out, brawl his way back to his buddies. And he spotted them. He's seen a player up close. That's the only man he needs to deal with. Valorante's on his way, but CNED will be there waiting.
One coming through. Cloud stunned up, but no one able to react off it. A very low HP CNED, but with an operator, that might not be too bad. The players have been heard, making their way to the site, and that's CNED gone back into a 2 versus 2. No salvos to be had, not a lot of post-spawn this fight. It's everything, and Cooper wins it again. The position not good. Westside had to run.
Pips and Cam.
And this continues to climb back. 1 round now the difference for Pacific. Just moments ago, I believe they were, what, 8, 9 rounds behind?
Well, we talked about this, the climb up from the very bottom. The bottom of the pit. They were 12 out of 12 over in kickoff, coming into this, expectations low, and then GX start to bruise and batter them. But now, we haven't seen this kind of climb since Christian Bale. 12 to 11 Pacific. A team everybody counted out. They've won so many rounds, not quite in a row thanks to round 21, but it's good enough. One last hurdle to jump over. And what could be the final round of this map, of this series if GX are to take it. Let's listen in with GX for this pivotal round.
BBL, BBL, BBL! I'm pillar, BBL,
Can reveal.
Dead.
Tetris.
Tetris.
Last player standing. Spike down B.
And the final blow of regulation, it lands with Cupid, but this game is not over yet. If you told me you believed in OT, I would have called you a fool, Tom. But here we are, 12-12. Somebody get Pips in a new desk. This one is going the distance and then some.
It's giving me flashbacks to, do you remember the game they played versus Genmates where they lost 11 rounds in a row? They were dominantly in the lead on Bind, and they just lost. I think it was every single attack round they lost to Stars. Post-plan 5v4, oh, they lost that one. And just each step of the way, somebody brought back in from Pacific. Like, these players have stepped up, and we were joking about how it was the 7 show. It actually hasn't been him in this map. It's been anyone but, in fact. He's definitely still been there to liven them up, but this game is now firmly in their hands. And GX, they've got to feel dejected at this point.
That's the thing, right? Both teams have had the same performance to end up here. They both won 12 rounds, but in how we got here, in being so close to reaching their goals, to fall short like that,
I'm out of here.
no doubt. This is a tough pill to swallow for GX, but the battle is not over yet. Another map after this, if we even get there. They could close it here and now.
Hara was a shining star, but the operator this time doesn't land. I think they're even potentially waiting for his attempt on a reswing. 40 seconds left. Committed to this B site. A 4th player rotating in. And Ara taking some serious damage. Alarente's gonna miss. They've almost forgotten about him. And he has sprung to life over the last couple of rounds, but another man they've forgotten about is Ara in the backlines. Somehow still standing, and now the only one left. He will fall as well. Alarante with another high-impact triple. And Pacific, from the depths of defeat, now have their first map point.
Map 3 on the horizon. What a play as well. The bait here was perfect from Pacific, and it starts long before our replay does. They're standing on long, they're putting utility out, the stun, the nade, then the wall goes up a while after. Each time, letting it settle. Pushing players out of position and not filling the space. That leaves your opponent sat there going, but they're going to come now. They're going to come any second now. Are they rotating back? What's happening? And as they're ready, as the neon wall goes up, Alan round for Pacific to get this map. One that they chose, one that GX looked bad on last week, but I'll say, like, Ara couldn't get anything done. He was being shut down in early fights. Now he looks so much better. GX have tidied up the game completely, and it doesn't appear to be enough. At least it wasn't in regulation. Now to fight their way back on the attack side, the one that they struggled to find rounds on. Already blitzing in and losing Ara on the entry. It seems unusual in this map to see him lose an opening duel.
It's a good seize, but they just don't manage to capitalize off it. A few players tagged up, but those tags don't really play a part. I like the re-aggression as well from Pacific. They're not just sitting pretty, they're feeling confident. They're looking for those fights, and they are going to find them. 2 players about to round the corner. 1 dead immediately, the second as well. Map 3 looking inevitable. With the spikes dropped, it's now a retrieval mission. Utility having to be used just to try and claim that back. And Grabidio's space has been watched for. West side 1v4. Split just moments away. Unless he can have another hero play, which, I'll be honest, should never have been needed.
This is unbelievable for GX. It looked like they did everything right, fanning the cinders of last week into flames and shining so bright for so long in that second half. They held the lead, but now, at the final hour, the final minute, at the bloody finish line, Pacific have come back through. For all intents and purposes, they have snuffed out that flame of GX. Map 2 lands for Pacific. They're going all the way to...
Feel giddy, and we'll have to wait and see if they're going to be able to take this one over the line.
Feeling gee is what you meant, but yes. That's okay. I'll catch you on that one. I mean, to be honest, I'm surprised Pipson could still speak after. His voice should be gone from the screaming as he watched
Sorry, he's not allowed to talk into a pause now, so he can chill.
But that doesn't stop him. We've seen it. He's speaking to himself.
Waylander just sat there like,
it's one way to handle it. For GX,
do you reckon he has him on mute?
I don't think it would make a difference being that close to him, man. He gets loud.
That's how we test our headphones.
Just get him up here. Well, we'll be slow play towards A. This Viper wall, something you're going to see a lot on the attack side, just robbing information, making Pacific overextend to try to grab that info back. But already they've spotted players towards the top of ramp, and pressure about to come through the bottom. CNET dodges the flash. Beautiful shot onto Ara as well, starting with a first kill for CNET. So much damage done! But GX, they battle back 45 or less on every single player. But a 4v2. Anyone's game, and it's GX with the time on their side.
It comes down to mistakes. Is anybody going to give them an opportunity?
One enemy remaining.
Doesn't look like it. Westside's fighting. Ninja does at least get a couple for his trouble. A couple of orbs to go with it, but it is going to be the pistol round heading in the direction of GX. And something that is worth talking about is Westside going onto that waylay. Because obviously we've seen him play Yoru before the nerf a little bit over in Clash. Phoenix has looked pretty good.
Phoenix has, yeah.
The waylay,
Nice! Come on!
It's a very different role. It's you going in first, a lot of the time you dying first. So I want to see if that synergy has been built up between him and Ara, and if they are going to be able to make that one work as a duo.
It is a strange time to be moving to the waylay for him after the nerfs, but we did talk about this before we started the show today of like, you could have your waylay is going to have to pick different dive spots if you still want to use the stun, but that can set up the Neon to be the one closing the gap off the back of it. And I can see some success on the attack side coming from a well-executed comp like that, especially with Sky there to blind them up.
Yeah,
too.
Pipson in the coach confession as well sort of almost doubled down on what I said in the last map, which is that they didn't want to do that dive and throw slow. That was never their goal. So if you're not trying to do that and you're just using it as a better jet,
exactly,
that actually makes a lot of sense. So clearly, it didn't go fantastically on their last attack side, but hopefully on split alongside that secondary duelist, which is what I feel was missing, it might help them out a little bit.
But I do just think Waylay Neon Sky is so damn strong. I mean, you're playing with a Viper and you've got an Astra. The amount of opportunities you have to pop and burst out of smokes, out of walls, is sky high. Speaking of which, Tiger sent through to pave the way, already finding one up close, and that's a decent amount of defenders backing up this site now. They've all flooded in. A sea of blue, of cyan, and, well, Westside's turning it red, but they've lost 2 battles. Pacific fighting their way right back into this. They didn't even invest. This is not a force, but they are a force to be reckoned with. Cloud, 21 HP.
Look at the health.
They've got 50 between them on the other side, but 3 weapons pointed right back. 10 seconds, and no chance? Surely. He doesn't have time to plant it. Only one of them needs to play. A mistake needed for him to have any chance here. And, well, planting is definitely not how you're going to win this round. Cloud done for. In the end, it's Ninja's triple that brings us 1-1. A beautiful round, and you have to think for GX, they just took a little bit too long.
Yeah, ended up walking into the sack. Gave enough time for Pacific to pull off that rotation, and I don't think Pipson's going to be any...
I'm the GOAT, I think. No, I actually am the GOAT.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Ninja got 3 kills in that round.
I think probably it was a good stun he's talking about there. Got a lot of assists for it, but, you know, maybe slightly overselling your impact on the round there.
He's won champions, you know? It's fine.
True. He is a champion. And he was the GOAT. 1-1. At GX... Well, if they were feeling happy about winning that pistol, that's only amplified the loss right afterwards. Flickless down towards A main, and Pacific with an adjustment of fighting ahead of that wall coming down from ramp is really the weakness of it when you don't have players to back you up. Snakebite denies heaven control, and GX, it's a good round to learn from, to see all the utility that Pacific are going to be throwing at you, to see where they're playing. Maybe that ramp walk is going to be a weakness to exploit in the next. For now, though, it should be very, very difficult for them to find any impact in this round.
Yeah, I like, again, just the positions we're seeing from the Pacific players, like no real aggressive spots, all playing passive. I can't imagine this setup will be played much during the actual buy rounds, because you know that it's going to be so much harder for them to get those picked with the weaker weapons. And an in-zone flawless in round number 3. A huge boost of economy. Obviously not too much saved from the prior round, but it's mainly just winning when you were full ecoing, winning when you have all the guns. And now going into that first buy round with pretty much everything you could desire on the defense.
Yeah, it really is the best way to start a map, is losing the pistol and then following it up with a 2-round win. Your economy sky
Without
high.
buying as well. Without buying,
exactly.
You can pull that off regularly.
If you force buy round 2 and win, that's still a fantastic scenario. But yeah, coming in eco and winning, it's really a slap in the face for your opposition. 2-1. Buy up for both squads. Seekers online for the attackers. Not much else to report on. Certainly not on the defense. Nothing to answer back with. Deep aggression on A. Yeah, I said this could be something to exploit for GX, but oh my goodness! I didn't expect them to go running into the spawn, and that is going to be their choice of grave. GX really dominating those early fights, and I respect the attempt, but the shots hit on the other side are impressive.
Yeah, I also wonder, like, a lot of the time you're going to see teams playing either a 4-1 or maybe like a 2-2-1, with the 1 always being outside of the A site. I wonder if that was just them expecting that to be 1. Because the second there are 2 players, it does become a little bit more difficult to try and clear everybody out. Even still, though, Grabinho doing a stellar job. And, hey, if anything, keeping 5 players alive on your side, straight back into a 2-2 scoreline. It's going to be important for GX just from the mental side of things, because that last map is going to take a toll. Like, you were in such a commanding lead, your opponents needed 9 rounds to basically get themselves back into the game and even take it to overtime, and you let that happen.
And you had clutches and big kill rounds from almost everybody on the side of Pacific as well. So many opportunities thrown to the wind by GX. That's why they're here. But yeah, like you said, I do think that's the exact adjustment from Pacific, is we're going to full push towards A main. You have your C's, you have your nade. I think it was CNED that was there as well. So you've got the stun that can come out and a lot of aggression. So if there's numbers there, you catch them in the choke point. And if there's not, it's probably Flickless again, just holding that control by himself, and you overrun him. He has backup, and that's really where the plan falls apart. The blind spot used to the attacker's advantage. Now it is just Flickless sitting outside A, but predictably, Pacific don't go for the push that lost them the last round.
Now, operator in hand, missed shot. Getting out of here. CNED's trying to time it for when they stop spraying, and he has managed to do so. In fact, doesn't even take a lick of damage. Supportive utility in the snakebite to make sure they can't quite chase him down, and he kind of has a player locked into the angle, but a smoke utilized just to get them out of there. That's not bad, though, for Pacific. It means they've been able to hold on to that mid control. And actually, without spotting too much, you can already see the temptation from CNED to potentially gamble back towards A. He's been thinking about it.
Cosmic Divide lined up, and it will be to heaven. They're going to full push ramp, leaving Ninja to take a fight through a smoke or just spam his way to success. The reveal caught them for a moment, but no kill off the back of it. GX gets a sight, and a plant soon to be found. Ninja almost losing his life to the return spam from Flickless. And it will be the retake to be played for. And for one pick there, if Ninja just found it on the way out, that could be huge. They'd have Nightfall to fight their way back into the site, but failing that, and both Prowlers used, this now becomes a very difficult retake for the defense. Still without first blood to be drawn.
Oh, decent stun. Gives them the angle back, but the trades are immediate. A singular kill for 3 on the other side. And yeah, for the Pacific, it comes down to holding on to the weaponry. Yeah, you can rebuy most of what you have, but the operator will be that little bit too expensive. Again, I think another round where you look at GX when they have a high-impact ultimate, in this case the Cosmic Divide, and they look pretty good. Like, the take was very comfortable. The only real thing that could have gone wrong was if Ninja catches something off the reveal. I think that was the one piece that could have worked. And he does hit the reveal, it's just he doesn't hit the shot. That's all it came down to.
I think he put him half.
Yeah.
There's still a few shots landed. It's just hard to hit that Neon when she's sliding around like that.
Go, go, go!
Indeed, for GX to end up taking the cake there. We go back to sort of the observations towards that A site.
Go, go, go.
The aggression had been there. They knew this round with Flickless's info that it wasn't. And that's the late play, is just pop down the Cosmic Divide, force the pressure onto Ninja, and take the site. Oh, he's continuing. Aaron's gone through the stun. The Waylay dive as well, but they're not accounting for another player. So close inside the smoke. Seven gets a second, but all his teammates have fallen. Ninja now last alive. Fires through the Nightfall, and I think caught them both as well. Good information to play with. No trail going back towards main. Catches Ara in the open. In goes the reveal, and Ninja won't lose this one. The ult, when he's all alone, is a risk taken, but there's your reward.
Considering the operator, but it's already there on site. Not going to be missed, but I feel like we've seen quite a few of these moments. A huge play from Ninja individually, but then you kind of look back to like, the second that Nightfall hits in the Red Bull clutch, it almost just looks a little bit panicked. Like too many angles to check. He could be running it down him from behind and giving him those two isolated fights. Like, after what was some impressive trades, it's just that it's Ara in the open. I think he's a little bit worried that maybe somebody's coming from main.
Crazy.
But the fact that you saw where he used that Nightfall from probably should have given the game away.
Yeah, I mean, it was more towards stairs, right? So they are understandably suspicious of like a spawn walkout, but to be completely blindsided by the Heaven play is unfortunate, to say the least. New Viper positioning, thanks to the changes on the ult. It's going to still cover all of mid, given a lot of space, but it's abandoned immediately. The pit left open as they wrap into Heaven. Pacific reinforcing it with a snake bite down. Already reacting with a lot of utility, and this time CNET ahead of the curve. Ninja backing him up on site. In goes the Showstopper as Flickless falls, and well, that push comes to a close very quick and cleanly for the side of Pacific. An in-zone flawless and a statement success as they get back into the lead.
Yeah, and an attempt at a much faster play from GX after kind of having the same success in the opening of the round. They go back to the same execution, and this time you just see that tunnel being created, and rather than cowering behind it, they get that little bit more aggressive. Wow, that's a very unhappy looking. That's maybe the first time that I've seen him look sad. Like, he normally looks annoyed. Someone give him a hug. Waylander, give him a hug.
Scout destroyed.
Pippi needs a hug.
It's actually what they're doing during this round.
They're just hugging.
Embracing each other. Waiting for the inevitable. Tries to turn from the flash, but that's so smart. The early peak. Westside's ahead of their own flash, and you can see they never expected that. It almost looks silly from CNET's position, or from his perspective. There. Just him with his back turned in the middle. But
let's never stop hugging.
4-3, but it looks like we might be equalizing very soon because the push-up from Pacific, they think that they're wrapping behind the play, behind the push, but there's no push. GX are waiting for this exact thing to happen, for Pacific to overextend and them to come in with the punish. And now finally, they'll make their way towards the site. Now that it's a 5 versus 2 and they know one's outside B, the thinking is correct, that B would just be wide open.
Spike planted.
Again, the decisions have to be made. You have some credits to burn, but how much is the damage worth versus the potential loss of those extra weapons? As I said, it won't affect them too much going into the next round, but it's the future of the economy going into a 5 versus 2 scenario. It seems like maybe just going to trap them on an exit or two. Start in place. Grabinho's going walkabouts. He's looking for an opponent on the other side. And actually, they do clear up those remaining weapons. From a flawless in the last to 4 standing in the next. It is a peculiar game, to say the least. But we do end even.
Well, it's also a consistent game in that sense. It's being peculiar from the get-go. Not much has changed. A timeout called now by GX. Still tight in the early game, and well, Tom, you gave us it on Haven about the double timeouts.
It's a wombo.
In map 2, I really thought that there's no chance for the bounce back, and for them to keep themselves in it after the kickoff that they had, after last week, after map 1, after half 1 of Pearl. It's impressive. It really is, and it shows that we definitely have some of the right pieces there. There's more to be done. Deep Viper Orb being thrown through. It's active on both sides, and it will be the defense to drop theirs as they continue to walk down mid. GX waiting again, though. The patience there on the attack side. They find a huge reward Ara with the double, and Flickless follows up. Now, again, a 5v2 right off the timeout. GX have read that perfectly.
It turns out they tried to counter Pipson's rap god communication. It turns out he was just repeating himself, just do the same as last round. That's all he was saying over and over again.
Just wait, just wait. And if they do this, just wait. And if they do that, just wait.
The funny thing is, I could actually imagine him doing that. I could genuinely.
45 different and in Flash A, just wait. You know what you do in Flash B? Don't answer. Just wait.
it's like Cloud. If they were to do it, and he goes, well, I would. No!
Shut up! Just wait!
Well,
except he would be shouting. We just use his speaking tone.
Guys, I know we all love each other. That's how he actually starts.
That's how he
sentence.
starts. Yeah, he's actually a very wholesome guy to speak to. That's all love with Pips, and that's what everybody says. Well,
I think he wishes he had the pause now. Because after back-to-back rounds where you've immediately gone into a 2 versus 5, that's probably a time where you'd really like a pause. And also off basically the same thing. Like, you're trying to get aggressive, which is normally quite common practice when you're running a double duelist, especially one of those being a Neon. But when you get wrecked like that twice, basically your opponent's just holding for you. Again, that might have just been the sort of like meta game of like, okay, they're not going to expect us to do this again, so let's do it again. But when you get decimated like that, that's kind of where you'd like to have a pause. And they do still have the credits to buy. Like the way that both teams have been able to keep the rounds they have won clean, and in some cases bring a weapon through as well. I am intrigued to see if that buy is going to be kept by 7, though. Is he going to go with a shieldless rifle? And he has.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
Hey, if you hit the headshot and don't get headshotted or body shotted.
Or even if you do get headshotted, it is what it is.
That's true.
As long as you're up against a Vandal or nice and close to that Phantom.
He just knows he's up against Westside. He's like, well, he's going to headshot me anyway. I don't even need the shields.
Exactly. It's a valid strategy, actually. Just always go half armor, except when Ara has an outlaw. Then you're in trouble.
Or in this case, no armor. He's got next step. He's evolved.
Well, let's see if this pays dividends. Already going to be avoiding the ultimate sent through by Westside. Now the Heaven split. They force themselves into main. It's going to be 7 alongside Cupid, but it's only 7 that's needed to hold the line. Clean shots without the shields, and clearly he doesn't need them. Westside and Cloud, 2v5. The shoe on the other foot now as 7 storms the site. Pacific with an in-zone flawless in return. I don't know what's going on anymore.
See, no, I've got it. I've got it.
Okay.
So
here we go.
Pipson was actually planning for round 9. I think he was planning. He was a step ahead. Or behind. Don't know which way you look at it. Probably behind. He was a step behind.
He knew he could never beat Pipson right after the timeout, so he planned for the round after.
So he was like, guys, we're going to lose the next round.
Yes.
But we're going for round 10.
We're going to lose.
Round 10 has always been my favorite round, so if we win that one, they're going to get a full sense of security. Yeah, it's balmy. The fact that they're winning their rounds so dominantly, but we sit 5-5, it's genuinely so confusing.
Treat him like a buttercup. Build him up just to take him down. Love to see it. Generational plans from Thinky.
That's the guy who just killed everyone last round.
Yeah, he got 3 headshots last round, clean as can be, and now he's caught in the open, goofing around. That's a strange one. Pacific, they have managed to make a big mistake and then massively overcorrect into a 4v2. This is a strange game, folks. I don't know what we're witnessing, but I don't want it to stop. Pacific, 6-5 now, and after winning the round after the timeout and then losing 2, I crave one thing, and that's an end-of-day Pipson highlight package. He must be going through all the emotions.
I thought you were going to say a 6-6 so that we have a beautiful little pattern on the scoreboard. 1 round, 2 round, 2 round, 10 round, 2 round, 2 round, 1 round. That's what I want.
Hey, Bobby. Let's go, man.
And the good thing is, as I am a broken record, they can very comfortably still buy. And they come into this round with 4 of their 5 ultimates. So a good opportunity here for GX to level the half. It's exactly where we should be with how things have been going. An operator for Ninja. The Fade operator is a nuance. It's not something you see very often and might be in trouble. They're running through the utility, but hey, It's worked out for Pacific. That 6-6 not looking very likely. I think a combo breaker pattern ruiner is about to happen.
Oh, they always say a Viper wall, a snake bite, and a nade. Very weak combination. They pass each other on the ropes. They've passed each other on the ropes. Valorant, he's dodged the dog. What's going on? They have not seen this man. He is a specter, a shadow, and he is about to strike from the... He's made noise! What is this game? And now he's leaving the site where they are to track the guy he doesn't know is flanking. I don't know what I'm witnessing. Grabinho somehow comes out of this in the best position possible, strikes onto Cupid. Alarante's on the other side of the bloody map. And now Pacific, they've only got screens in sight to play with. They backed themselves into a corner.
But also that's where GX are going. They're walking into the one stack up on the side. And now Groovy's backstab almost seems meaningless. This has been a story of a round. One that I hope we never have to tell again. A 1 versus 3.
10
he's dead.
seconds
There's no way he comes out of this alive. A 7-5 Pacific will claim the lead going into the half. A peculiar half at that, and we'll see if GX are going to turn the tide just one more time.
Seconds left.
From ranked or from an official where they pause and say, what happens next? You could do that with any moment of this game on any map so far, and I guarantee you nobody would know unless they had seen
most of those are faking in custom service.
Yeah. A lot of people don't even sing over their clips live, and frankly, that's outrageous. Jack Igo mentioned, well, round 13, the pistol round. From what we've seen, it means nothing, because you can win with full classics against the buy in the next. That's what Pacific did, it's how they got here. For GX, on the defense, this is a bit of a challenge for them. But the success of the attack, a lot of it came from just waiting for their opponents to push into them. I do wonder if they'll have different energy here, though.
That normally seems to be the case. A slow attack, a fast defense, and Alorante looking to claim that headshot machine title, but there is other contenders in the server. Ara maybe being one of them. A pistol switch in the middle of the fight. Cupid at least claiming one, but it's the advantage in the favor of GX. Meaning, if I'm going to metagame the story so far, Pacific are in the lead in this round.
Based on what we've seen, Alorante, oh, he's got the position. He'll catch one, the other on the other side of the Viper wall, but Flickless comes through with the pick they needed. Ninja's giving away the fact that he's here.
30 seconds
and of
left.
course, they would have suspected it, but now they know for sure. 25 seconds, and it looks like they'll give him the space to stabilize, to get this plant down and flip the clock into his favor. He's very close to the elbow, but that gets him round. Well, okay, very close to the elbow and goes there with his knife out. Big mistake, and Westside's there to punish. Another pistol for GX. Now just behind by 1.
Maybe let's kill them before.
Yeah, I like the reaggression. Ara does incredibly well to sort of get back down mid, shut down any of that additional control.
Nice!
That's going to be their second pistol. Of course, they didn't manage to get the conversion last time around. I do think that on the attack, that should be a little bit more difficult. It's not so much getting all the players in the right place at the right time, but saying that, if they were to rush B right now, it is fairly dependent on a Grabinho judge. Now that sounds like it's a safe bet, but you never really know, especially if Cena goes sliding past the angle.
He's in the smoke. He's playing a crazy game, a risky one, that's for sure. They're about to come out off the back of a reveal that he can't break, his teammate needs to. The shots do not land, my God, it's atrocious! And they've killed Flickless in heaven! I don't know what I'm watching!
As DJ Khaled once said, another one. Or maybe not. A chance to try and respond.
Okay,
Ara has had enough. He wants to try and do it all, but he's died to the nade. Comes back down to a 2 versus 2. Still, only classics, he says, on the other side. But a gravity well, which could make things awkward. A chance, maybe, to do something here.
Fine time.
Already.
Got it half, though.
Got it to half, and That's definitely a problem. Somebody's going to have to swing this and hold in the angle. The wrapper
Nice
not going
job.
to do anything. They manage to stabilize and convert the second round.
That's a
Good
really...
job, GX.
Yeah, listen, awful round top to bottom. Well, not quite the bottom. They got there in the
All I'm
end.
going to say is I called the judge. I said that, you know, if CNED comes sliding around that corner, sure, I'm really surprised by.
What's that?
We didn't get in slow-mo.
That's true.
They've turned a page.
Nice!
Yeah, the replay's not over, Tom. I'm holding my breath. I'm waiting to see it. Okay.
Just cut away now.
All right. Just going to go right back to it. Whoops, forgot one.
We're going to miss the round, but we'll see it, though.
But the 7-7, the fact is GX get out with 2 weapons. That makes this round a lot weaker.
7-7, and 7 is on 11-11.
My head's already
Make
hurting,
a
Tom.
wish.
I don't... What? What? Okay, 7-7 is the score. And Pacific are feeling some pressure. Feeling the push towards B main, they're going to back out of there. The reality is, this is a round they don't want to take unfavorable fights, like when GX are, you know, looking for the battle. You evade that because they don't have a lot to work with on that defensive side. They have a lot of weaknesses, and now they've missed the timing.
Unlucky.
I think Grubby might even have been seen stepping up there. Team Pacific were more than ready. And now, if they get the plant down, they can keep all these fights to range, which is what I want to see with so many weaknesses on the other side. And it should be an easy closer.
Yeah.
But what we're going to see,
I don't know.
probably something different.
They're going to keep 4 players alive. I have faith.
Sky's out.
See, good start.
Nicely
Cloud
done.
gone. Flickless.
Not push up.
Gonna take a bit of it. 3 players alive. They're going to keep 3 players alive. That's 3 would be fine. 2 would be worrying. 2 would be worrying. And if anybody else was to get caught from here, it would be an absolute nightmare. How? Ow. How? How?
I'll give you an answer to that, Tom. They pushed ramp. They pushed. They said we've got the advantage. We've
And
got the
Minnie's
plan. We've
got a
got the time.
telestrator. Take it away.
And they're gonna push in.
Oh, he's not ready.
They're gonna push into us, and we've got the range. So let's just take the fight to them. Let's just run at the pistols. That always works out well. Oh my goodness, this game. I've already lost
You know what?
years off my life.
At least you were right.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it feels really good to be right in a moment like this. That's just such an overplay of your hand. Everything went your way. You won the opening fights. You got the plant. Time's on your side. They've got to push into you. They've got to push into your angles. And sure, you want to get ahead of the utility. They've got a very good calm for bursting out. I understand that. But they also have pistols. And you pushed into the pistol
Well,
range.
now they have rifles.
Yep.
It is a repurchase. A judge for CNED. Judge has been unkind so far. Normally, well, when I watch the other Pacific, the region, it's normally pretty good. But we'll see.
I'll find you.
Over the top they go. This is a ruse. CNED is being sold to the wolves. He's being sent to his doom. But there's already an aggressive position from Ara. He only really needs to take one, and that's what he will do.
Yep.
Into the retake. Ninja's position is nice, though. They're going to pop some utility, but his flank is still in play. Timing here going to be everything, but he is making his move. Ninja by name, ninja by nature. Valorant is kind of slowing them down at least a little bit. And now that backstab becomes even more deadly. It's only going to come down to Flickless if he can turn the tide, if he looks back in the other direction, but he is just waiting for his teammates to make that move. A troublesome position for one. Cooper in the corner, Ninja, that defender, but the trade has been made, and there Flickless pounces, his patience paying off. And GX will claim the round in the end. It's a nice try by Ninja, at least.
Team A.
Yeah, I think really that doesn't come down to Ninja doing something wrong, right? It's just that they didn't push out the way he needed them to.
Yeah.
He needed them to flood so he could get them really quick. And because they took their time, Flickless can wrap up behind, and that closes the round. Otherwise, very different round we're looking at right there. Good attempt, but now the lead for GX and the money falling apart on the side of Pacific. It's nowhere to be found. There's a couple of credits. A few shots in the arcade machines.
But you've also lost all 4. And that is quite a damning statement for the first few rounds. And now you're coming in, well, you've got ults and a Bucky.
Pulling them in.
Looking for double digits. Not that much of a disadvantage in play for GX when it comes to the next buy round, even if They lose all their players. The start is good for Pacific, a trade, and now they'll focus in towards this A site. This is all we need. The control and GX to go pushing into you. This time they don't have the rifles, but they do have the ultimates. And if they can get the pit down, this game, that could be completely different. Turning their weaknesses into a strength. As those pistols play inside the pit, they could put it down, but we're not seeing it just yet.
Maybe going to rely on other ultimates. They're going to have to rely on other ultimates because Alarante's already dead, and well, I guess they just weren't feeling it. A chance for Ninja, but again, a nice attempt. He's been having a good game, it's safe to say, but not this time. Another post plant. Seemingly another opportunity, but yeah, the thing is, I've seen teams, like if it was the only ultimate they had, I could sit there and go like, okay, like maybe you want to save.
They have a plan in the next round.
You want to save it for your buy. When you have 4, I'm a bit surprised that you don't use 1.
Especially the pit, you've got pistols. You put their HP low. You can play off each other inside of it, and what did GX have to get back through? Now they've got ultis. They've got the Seekers, that's a big problem. They didn't have the Seekers at that point. They didn't have any ultimates to fall back on. And it also nullifies if they have an op in play, which you don't know at that point. It nullifies that. It seems like a mistake, but this is what the timeout was for. This is the round we've been waiting for. The Pacific were waiting for. They saved over every ultimate that they've got here in the previous round, not committing it to the 4v4 post plant. And for what? Well, that answer, it's within reach. It's a few seconds away, and already Flickless is down. That's a huge spam kill from Ninja. He's been very good on those. In this series so far, the response to flash out and take down one. West side right out of there. Great response from the defenders.
Showstopper out as well. Pretty much every kill you get on the GX side removes one of the ults, and or what would have been a good plan of get in with a Showstopper, put down the Viper's pit. That idea is now gone. Nightfall sent through. It's not connected up to anybody. They'll give some space. The reveal lets them know the west side is hit, but this is a ruse. And this is a ruse that, as of right now, has claimed 0 victims. Nobody has yet to move on the defensive side. They're sitting passive. Cosmic Divide goes in, and it's a solid ult to really make things awkward for Ara. But he's going to connect to the site. And now with 30 seconds, they go back into a B site, which again, as said, no one has moved.
Yeah, they heard the op on A. They think then that the rotate should be coming in. The pressure should be felt, but the headshot machine. He's got it again. And then the run. Oh my goodness, Ara's missed. That was a crucial shot, a much needed one. 12 seconds, okay. They can win the sprint to the site, and the first man doesn't have the spike. His job is to clear this out, to find this defender if they're on side, but Cloud catches them all. A double with time too far gone. It's 11 for GX. A close round, but not close enough for Pacific. The timeout burned. That was the last one as well. And now the home stretch for GX.
Oh yeah, it was something that I sort of mentioned back on Pearl when they were playing the defensive side. Was
Yo, you run back and forth, bro. You need to know what you do, brother. Okay? Let's go,
yeah,
baby.
It's kind of yeah,
that's fair.
He said it perfectly. It's like they like to sell fakes on Pacific, but if GX don't move and you're not sending anybody into those sites, there's no real reason for them to, oh yeah, let's over-rotate, let's gamble, let's make all of these moves. It's not going to happen, and that is what lost the round for them, because the move back to B at the end, that wasn't the plan. That was panic.
Scout destroyed.
Didn't find the openings they were looking for. And the adjustments on the fly not coming through after an incredible comeback on Pearl. It looks like one might be needed again. Not quite as daunting of a scoreline, but here on Split, the attack we've seen so far, there is much left. Oh, to be seen from Pacific. A good kill by Cloud! Flickless on the rope takes down Ninja. And now the numbers back to a 3v3, but this time the pit does come into play. But it's not on the site. They can completely avoid it, wrap around it. Grabinho has other ideas, sitting inside, waiting for aggression. They've caught CNET around the top now. Pacific want to push through. They want to get some information, perhaps. And if they do, that's the hope of Grabinho. He'll be there waiting, shorty in hand. But instead, they back off, move towards the site. This creates a danger. If Alorante goes down, Grabinho can easily join the troops, and in fact, the pit is going to fall. Now that whole defensive wing completely crumbles as Grubby lands both. And for GX, Success against the odds, fighting back through that ult, through that utility against the clock, but for Pacific, it's just another head scratcher, man.
He didn't mean to let that pit drop, did he?
I don't think so.
No. Because like there was a moment where I was like, okay, they're giving up on the pit, so that maybe it reveals someone.
I'm gonna have a heart attack, bro. Oh my God, let's go.
Same, Cloud. Same.
We are right there with you, my brother.
I'll be
Don't you
honest,
worry.
like up until this half, you guys were partially to blame. Especially the last map, but you know.
But right now, the second half is a completely different story to the rest of the game, which is GX are punishing every mistake.
Yeah.
That's
Well, look
it's
at
as simple
the
as that.
retakes. Every round bar one has been them retaking and winning.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to set a new record for the worst post plant in VCT history.
I'm out of here.
Certainly with the sample size. Ara, he didn't even hit the boombot. He's out of there. Giving up control. Damage done on to 7, down to 30. And this one of 5 attempts for GX to close it out. They go pushing into the defense that's shown on almost every retake. They have waited 30 seconds. They've let the clock run down. They've let Pacific make a mistake. And this time, it's an early mistake. The same punish there from GX. A big advantage. And look at them again. They are just waiting. I don't know if Pibson genuinely screamed just wait 30 times during the timeouts, but if he did, perfectly played. Hold on. There's still some life in Pacific. We've seen them bounce back in some big clutch moments before, and now it's only the Viper from the pit left standing. Flickless does well, but CNED, he buys Pacific at least one more fight.
Get ready.
Yeah, we finally seen him come alive. I think in that round alone, he's almost doubled his kills. Yeah. He was on 5, now on 9. This overdrive was everything. Again, we saw this in the last map. All it takes is a little bit of a spark, but there doesn't seem to be a spark there. Look at the faces. Like every time in the last map where they were coming back, they were screaming, they were shouting, they were 3, 4, 5 rounds down, and we see them almost off their seats. We even joked about how CNED's getting hyped up.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Solemn.
But that's the problem, though. The way that they've lost these rounds is getting a foothold, having an advantage, and then letting it slip.
Yeah.
And that's a completely different vibe to getting shut down in the entry. Okay, sure, we lost that fight. We played this wrong, but big mistakes were made. Pacific have a lot of course correction to do. 4 rounds in a row needed from this point, and it will be a slow start. This time they adopt the just wait approach and the fake again, this time towards B. They put pressure in B heaven. They're waiting outside B main. In fact, their A main players rotated back. This was a B fake into an A fake into a B hit. That's the plan from Pacific. Last time these fakes didn't work. Cloud was screaming at them from across the stage. Let's see if they've got a better idea this time.
Slowing them down.
Slow, thrown in. He's trying to create disparity between the push, and I'll be honest, it worked for a moment. They need a little bit more. Grabinho, a nice attempt, but it's only the one. This time, it's not just a post plant, it's an advantage in one, but Cloud's trying to get a little bit cheeky. Gravois, I like it. It's going to deny that little bit of extra space. Ara, though, has found one on the back. It leaves them a little bit more segmented, a little bit more trapped. The reaction from Pacific should be to try and fight one of these players. They're completely isolated. They're sectioned off. But as of right now, they're yet to find that fight, and they're splitting up themselves. A chance still for Ara. A chance to maybe take this here and now, but it's Cooper. He will keep them in the map. Another fight back from Pacific needed. And 2 rounds that come down to 1.
Such a narrow margin, but they are holding on to a cliff's edge by the tips of their fingernails.
I think it's a pinky finger at this point.
It really is. I need Luffy to pull them all the way up. 3 in a row here.
You're losing against me, bro.
Well, they're winning.
Yeah, they are, but they lost the round. You know what it means. You know what he means. Thing is, GX come in, 3 ultis to play with. Big impact on them as well. Ara to close distance. West side to open them up. The retakes can be terrifying. And we're seeing the same thing. We've seen this before, even from GX, even in this series. Most players, or some players, sitting in spawn while others look for information, find where the push is coming in. But I will give commendations to Pacific. The last round was much better than what we saw before, where they decide to play a much faster set of fakes. They left too much time between the B hits and the A hits last time, but this time it's much more direct, it's much more convincing, and that's a great sign. With 3 left to go.
More synergized as well.
Yes, yeah, they're fixing their pacing.
Because I think you could see it from the utility thrown out from West Side. The goal was to hit one set of players so the others couldn't pincer them at once. This time, though, it seems like read is a wrong one. Alarente's doing a great job to sell a fake with only a bandit. Oh, but the whole team's coming.
There's that.
They're going to go back, right? Oh, no, maybe
no,
not. But the thing is, if that's been sold as a fake, now they do actually get to walk into an open site. It's definitely a little bit more risky if they want to move, but yeah, it's worked perfectly.
I was very nervous, but it is, well, there it is. That's
Okay.
exactly what I want to see. Yeah, if the stack was still here, they'd know by now, perfect. And I think the fact that they send in the pistol, perfect. It clearly sells it to fake. Here's the retake, though. We talked about this, how powerful it could be. The old pop by Arrow, but he's going to be caught off by Ninja on the side. In goes the dash, but nothing found him. West Side caught on the way back out. That was huge commitment. I mean, for West Side to put his ult through it, it almost means Ara has to do the same to try to get in there quick, have some impact even on the slide, but being shot from an off angle completely decimated that play. And now those are some big pieces of the GX puzzle that will be missing for the rest of at least regulation here.
Yeah. Oh, clearly felt like there was a gap to exploit. Wasn't the case.
He looks very surprised that he hit that shot. Not what you want to see, but you know what, Cubert, you got a 3K the other round, so we'll let it slide.
2 rounds, 3 in a row. It seems like Pacific only start the party once they're basically out of the map. It felt like this was a done deal. Or maybe we're looking at the other side, and it's just like GX can't win a round the second they get to 12. Ara is looking to change that. The operator with the opener. Pressure being placed on, but Ara's there again. The distraction of Cloud has helped him out massively. Can he get out? Yes, he can. And they've been fantastic in their retakes with a 2-man advantage. Make it a little more. This time, it doesn't look like it's going to go back the other way unless Cupid has one of the clutches for the ages. Not this time. GX have managed to finish their second dinner.
It was a bit of a bump.